So it looks like I'm live. If possible, can the chat please confirm? So if anyone in the chat is listening, this is the first time I'm actually hosting a Hangout, so there might be some technical problems. You can hear me. That's nice. Hello, by the way. So I've sent Anthony the link, but he hasn't answered yet, but I think he should be coming in the Hangout any second. Still nothing. One question to the chat. Can you hear me typing on my keyboard? No. Okay, thanks. Yeah, it's a mechanical one. They are usually quite loud. Well, he's online in Skype, and I've sent him the link twice already. He should be able to see it. Hmm. The Brits and their horrible punctuality. Oh, damn. He just sent me a Skype message. He needs a 30 minutes delay. So I guess I'll open up the hangout for the guys in the chat. If you want to join, I'll send it in the chat. Here's the link. So for the entertainment of the chat, I'll just read some of Anthony's quotes on evolution because they are hilarious. Just give me a second. I have to find the right Skype conversation. Ah, here it is. Oh yeah, for example, when we were discussing the definition of phenotype and genotype, I was pointing out that the genotype is simply the amount of genes in the organism, and he said, quote unquote, it doesn't have to be an organism; it might also be an animal. So he's clearly ignorant about two simple biological definitions that are critically for understanding theory of evolution. He also said all humans have the same phenotype or they wouldn't be human. This was a conversation on 5th of November, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, microblock, I have the same feeling. But at this level, it's practically unavoidable to argue about the definitions. Still nothing. Another delay. His expected time of arrival is 1845 Greenwich time. That's 1945 Central European time. Oh God, he hasn't even arrived home now. Apparently, you're right, Microblog. He is trying to change the subject to philosophy by starting with the definition of humanism for some reason. I guess he'll be online in about 5 to 10 minutes. Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Actually, I'm quite annoyed because Anthony hasn't arrived yet.
Yeah, he has a tendency of doing that.
Yeah, you know, the Brits and their punctuality.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually agreed to go one-on-one with him, so when he arrives, I guess I have to throw you
Don't
out.
worry, don't worry. I'll boot up on myself. I just wanted to congratulate Anthony Riley for making it into the running for a dumb fuck of the year.
Yeah, you can tell him that person later, I think.
Exactly, and then I will then leave and leave you two alone.
Okay, you can do that.
Sweet. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for this guy to show up, how's life?
Um, Currently, I'm quite stressed because of the university, but I think in about 10 months, I'll have finished my master's thesis, so yay for me.
Yay! And I just got back from seeing a rocket.
Which one was that?
This one was an Atlas V 541. So it had 4 solid rocket boosters on the SOB, and it was awesome.
Okay, what was the payload?
The payload was the GOES-R weather satellite for the National Oceanic Administration. And actually, it was for the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA. It was a weather satellite, the R series. It's the most advanced weather satellite ever launched. Well, for America, that is.
Yeah, that sounds nice. Do you know where, in which kind of orbit they've placed it?
Geostationary over the center of the United States. So it's just like the Himawari, only it's going to be on the other side.
Okay, so about 90 degrees west?
Something like that.
Okay.
And the launch was beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. You should come down to Cape Canaveral sometime and check it out.
Yeah, when I find the time. And when that orange thing is gone.
Well, I'm sure you'll find the time. And if you don't, I'll just kidnap you and bring you over here forcefully against your will.
You can try. You won't succeed.
I will try really, really, really hard.
Yeah, I'm practically too fat to get kidnapped, so I don't think you would be able to do it.
What if I bring help?
Yeah, then maybe.
There
a
we go.
lot of chloroform.
A lot of chloroform. Okay, all right. That can easily be arranged. Yeah. It could be like, yo, we attack at dawn. Oh well. So what has Anthony Riley graced us with, or what is he supposed to grace us with?
Oh God. Well, I've actually had a conversation with him. Well, on Skype text about two weeks ago, and he said some so ridiculous shit about evolution that I thought, yeah, I have to do a hangout, because he lacked the basic knowledge of first of all what organisms are, what a species is. So on and so forth. So he has practically no idea about anything. At least that's what I got from the conversation.
Well, he kind of has a habit of being literally wrong on everything he says.
Yeah, let me just quote him. Give me a second. Where is it? Just scrolling through the old Skype protocol. What the fuck?
Wait, you can't bring up the comment?
Yeah, it had just disappeared. I had it on about 20 minutes ago when I started the hangout.
Did he delete it?
I don't know. I don't know if you can do that via Skype. Give me a second. I restart the program.
You can delete messages over Skype.
Let me just restart it. Maybe it's a fault of mine.
No.
So this was.
And if he's watching, just so you know, as soon as you get in here, I'm going to leave, Anthony. So you're going to get the one-on-one that was promised to you. I'm not going to intrude.
Yeah, now he's on Skype. Basically, he said that animals aren't organisms because
animals aren't organisms.
Yeah, that was one of his quotes. He thought that. Yeah, I can hear the face palming to here. Sounds painful.
Son of a bitch.
Actually, I think I need alcohol for this. That's my beer.
That's really terrible.
Cheers.
You know what? I think what we need, or I think what you need, is a vacation.
That's likely, yes.
Okay,
Well, I
and
think I have 3 weeks of vacation during Christmas. The university is totally shut down during that time.
all right, cool. Then here's what you're gonna do. How about for your vacation, you come down to Cape Canaveral?
No time. I have to visit my grandparents.
Oh, don't give me that shit. Come on, you can visit them next year.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
There we go. You can always visit them next year, and I'm sure they'll understand. And, and,
Yeah,
and
probably.
and be like, look, guys, I love you and all that, but rockets. I think they'll understand. I know I would.
So I've just received a message from him.
Mm-hmm.
Quote unquote, I'm just waiting on one person to finish their job. I'm only a mile from home. So he's still on his way.
Yeah, supposedly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't give a fuck about the timing, to be honest. It's quite annoying because I'm now running this hangout for 51 minutes without anybody practically in here.
Well, good thing I came in here to break the monotony, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. Hey, listen, just so you know, my present here isn't free, so I'm recommending you come down to Cape Canaveral to see a rocket launch with me as payment.
That sounds fair.
That sounds fair too. All right, there you go.
Let's
And
say sometime either the end of 2017 or 2018.
man, you make me wait.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
How
I have to
dare
finish
you.
my master's degree first, and then afterwards I'll have a bit of time.
Can't you like make a master's degree while we're watching a badass rocket lift off?
No, because there's a mandatory amount of lab courses that you have to do, and
No.
I'm really short on time, to be honest, because last semester I did practically nothing because I'm a lazy fuck,
I see.
and now it's getting a bit narrow regarding the timing, because I have the last 3 exams in February, and I have to do about 8 weeks of lab work during that time.
Well, so much for that plan.
Yeah.
I guess another news or another question. How's the migrant crisis?
It's okay, to be honest. My direct neighbors are migrants, and they are completely okay. So I think the way that it is presented in media is a bit exaggerated.
Well, what was Germany's reason for taking in so many migrants?
Well, it's actually that's a good question, actually, because first of all, we have some sort of historic guilt for, first of all, the world wars.
Oh,
And
for fuck's sake!
we feel kind of responsible in times where there's a major crisis. We have to take care of the people that are affected for some reason.
Okay,
Not in the American way by bombing everything, but in the humanitarian way.
okay. Here's the thing, and this is going to sound very, very shocking. Germans of today are not responsible for what the Germans did of fucking 60 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but there's still this concept that we are the ones that in time that there's something to be done, then it's our duty to do it.
What?
Yeah.
That's
I don't
stupid.
know. It's totally stupid.
That's the original sin BS, dude.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I know.
Were you okay? I'm going to ask you a series of questions. Were
Okay.
you ever a member of the Gestapo?
Not that I would know. No.
Okay. Were you a member of the SS?
Nope.
Were you Hermann Goering?
No.
Were you Heinrich Himmler?
No.
What about Albert Speer?
Nope.
You weren't any of those. What about Adolf Heinemann?
You mean Eichmann?
Eichmann.
Yes. No.
No. Yeah. See how you're answering no to all of these questions.
I understand. But for some reason, there's still this duty that is put onto us by, first of all, the
Is
policy.
that what's it called? German angst? Angst?
Actually, it's called German guilt. Angst directly translates to fear. That's something different.
Okay. And so German fear over shit that you had no part in whatsoever.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes.
That is bullshit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you come down to America and you say you're from Germany, we tend not to give a fuck anymore.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Because I wasn't there, you weren't there, so we weren't there. Not our responsibility.
Completely agree.
Then why taking so many fucking migrants?
Yeah, well, because a big part of the population still agrees that it's our duty to do something to help as far as we can.
You could have just sent a shitload of money to the countries that could have taken care of them at a much cheaper price.
Yeah, possible. But for some reason, the philosophy that is there is if they're standing on the border anyway, they're already practically here. So there's no reason to stop them directly on the border. Better let them in and try. Alex, my name is Alex.
Wasn't your prime minister like person of the year?
Prime Minister? You mean our chancellor?
Chancellor, sorry.
Yeah, she was last year, I think. Time magazine.
Okay, I think as far as standing in a good light, you guys have accomplished that goal. Now, can you stop slowly suffocating yourselves?
Maybe.
I like Germans. They make BMWs that we can then smash with our Corvettes.
I personally don't like BMWs. I prefer Audis.
Audis?
Yes.
Oh, the car you buy when no one loves you?
Actually, the car I bought when nobody loved me was a Golf, so kind of, since they're
the same company.
Yeah, they're the same company, and they share a big part of their parts. So I guess yes.
What about Porsche?
Also VW.
What about Bugatti?
Also VW. And Lamborghini as well. Bentley also, I think.
We're just going to assimilate everything.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that you guys also have Mini Cooper.
I think Mini is a part of Mercedes. Or was that Smart?
No. Mini was part of BMW.
Mini's BMW, yeah, it's possible. It always makes them go up.
And you got to think that Mini is an English car, but it's actually German now.
Yeah, either the original company was bankrupt or they were just simply bought by BMW. One of the two.
Well,
so this wanker isn't still online. What the fuck? No. Oh wait. Yeah, I'm here. Wait.
Is the wanker coming on now?
Possible. I'll send him the link again.
So just to make it very, very clear, you have never at all once participated in World War II.
No.
Then you have nothing to feel guilty of. Stop being stupid.
Right.
You're going in for a master's degree. I think you can figure this shit out, okay?
Yeah. There's one thing. Actually, at least in part, we kind of need immigration. The reason is that the amount of childs that are born in Germany is way too low. So we're facing a phase of too many people in retirement.
They'll die off soon enough.
No, not really.
Oh yeah, your healthcare is like really, really good.
Yes.
Much better than ours, actually.
Yeah, and the consequence is that we have more people over the age of 65 or 67 that don't have to work anymore and that are getting their pension from the government.
So there's two options. We either take in a load of migrants, or the German people start fucking like a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Either that, or you have to work longer, which of course nobody wants, or you start working earlier, which is partially at least done because the school, the mandatory school is 1 year less than before, and the amount of school you have to go to university is 1 year less than before. So they're trying to make you start working as soon as possible or as early as possible, but that still doesn't help.
I think there's going to be some unforeseen consequences as a result of that.
Yeah, sure, there will be. But it's not the first immigration wave that we had, and it won't be the last, I think. So we're kind of used to that. I mean, we had about 15 million immigrants directly after World War II. Sure, they were Germans. They were fleeing from Russians. But when we could deal with those people, we can deal with the ones that are arriving now. And this was a completely destroyed country.
Well,
70 years ago.
Yeah, I can understand that. Although I do think you should just say, I don't know, fuck it, and come down to America land. Dude, we got some pretty awesome cookies.
Yep, now with weed.
With weed, yes. Want some cannabis with that? We got you. We got you covered. And now Texas just opened up a highway that's called the Texas Autobahn. At least that's what its nickname is.
Okay, are you allowed to drive as fast as you want?
Well, as fast as your car can be deemed safe to do so.
Can be deemed safe to do so. So, what exactly do you mean?
85 miles per hour.
Oh God, that's what, like 140 kilometers per hour?
Let's do a bit of fast math, and I'll tell you the exact. Yeah. So you take 85 and you times that by 1.6.
6, I know.
And let's
136 kilometers per hour.
Yep, 136 clicks.
That's slow. Very slow.
It's fast enough.
No, not really. You have to come to Germany once. And because there's an inherent difference, for example, for when you compare the highways in Germany and the highways in France, they are in the way of construction almost identical. But the feeling on the German autobahns is different, just because for the fact that you can drive practically as fast as you want, at least in the rural areas where the next city is 100 kilometers away.
Yeah, maybe I should. If I head over there, you can be my translator.
Yeah, that I can do that. But actually, you don't need a translator since everyone practically speaks English. At least a large part.
So basically, you have bent to our will.
You can say so, yes. I mean, this might also be a consequence of the World War, because the western half of Germany, since World War II, we had English courses in all the schools, and on the other side, in East Germany, everybody learned Russian. So you can still meet a lot of people that are fluent in Russian in East Germany. Our chancellor is as well. She was raised in Eastern Germany.
I would hate to sit through your history classes. Holy crap, that must suck.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so we fucked up here, a lot here, and a little more here. Any questions?
Yeah, but the difference is that we actually acknowledge that we fucked up, in contrast to stuff that happened in America.
When I say we, it's a figure of speech. You guys are not responsible for the fucking war.
Yeah, I know.
Stop feeling guilty about things that you're not responsible for.
What I'm trying to say is, what our ancestors did was fucked up, and we realized it was fucked up. And there's stuff in America, when, for example, regarding Vietnam and part of the Gulf Wars, where this looking at your country's own past isn't as there isn't this skill. There's this thinking we are the best, and we did this, and it was justified thinking. That doesn't exist here for obvious reasons.
Well, whether it was justified or not, since I wasn't there, I don't feel a slight benefit.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't participate in Vietnam, nor World War II. I didn't even participate in the Korean War. I didn't participate in shit. Why? Because just like you, I am lazy. I am a lazy American, and I'm damn proud of it. And you're going to ask me as an American to feel guilty about shit that happened before I was even born? Well, fuck you with a rake, sideways, drenched in battery acid. So, yeah, but you see, it'd be like, okay, Germany of past did this. Germany of future is no longer this. Therefore, stop crying.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Last time I checked, the German flag didn't have a giant swastika on it.
Yeah.
Actually, what? Let's see. It kind of has a different. It has black, red, and yellow.
Yeah. Officially, it's black, red, and gold, but it's practically yellow, so screw it.
Mm-hmm. Any meaning behind those colors?
Yeah, I think the colors were the uniforms of some sort of army unit during the revolution of 1848. But I'm not sure about that. It had to do something with 1848, with the first German Revolution that failed. But yeah.
Yep. All right, and let's see. Let's see. Yep. So black, red, and gold. But you said it's practically yellow. So I'm gonna invoke the technically correct and be done with it.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, cool. Yeah, as long as we admit that I was right the entire time, we're all good.
Yeah, I can't guarantee that to you. So this guy still isn't on, it looks.
Come on.
It's so annoying.
I'm an American, Anthony, and I was here first. And I get distracted every time I see a McDonald's.
Hey, Noto Bengi, you in the chat. If you want to join, you can. If you're feeling lonely.
And also, Germany should also feel proud because you guys gave us some really smart people that eventually got us to the moon.
Yeah, Werner von Braun.
That was German smarts right there.
Yep.
So
a lot of physicists.
All we had to do was get to him first, and we did because America. America, fuck yeah.
Going back to the Autobahn in Texas. Why is that called the Texas Autobahn then?
Because it's the fastest speed limit in America.
Oh, okay. So 85 is your maximum.
Yes. In Florida, the fastest you can go is 70.
70 is 112 kilometers an hour, I think. Yeah, I mean, one of the possibilities that here in Germany the speed limit is so high is because Germany is so small that you can actually pass it from south to north in one day, and that wouldn't be possible with a speed limit of 100 kilometers per hour or a little bit more.
I can imagine. But although your roads are a lot better than ours.
Not necessarily.
Really?
Yeah, I mean the main highways that are connecting the, let's say, 15 biggest cities, they're brilliant. Oh, wait, I think, yes, he's here.
Well, I don't see him.
At least he's in Skype. He should be coming on any second.
Well, if he does come on, it's been nice talking to you, my fellow German friend.
Yeah, same thing.
And you will be coming to America Land where we can bathe you in cookies and rocket launches, right?
If I go to America, then not for a weekend. I think it would be about 3 or 4 weeks.
That's good. You can crash at my place.
That sounds nice.
We could be like brothers and share the same bathroom.
Oh God.
That
sounds horrible.
Yeah, think of it.
Where's my beer?
Let that image get into your mind so that it can't get out again.
Unfortunately, I've lost my suicide ex.
You can live with me for those 3 weeks. Come on, Anthony, you can do it. Click the join button.
I hope he doesn't make a philosophy clusterfuck out of this.
Look, all you have to do is stick to the science. Don't.
Yeah. I mean,
just be like, yo, we're not talking about any philosophy bullshit or religious bullshit. We're talking about what the science actually says.
Yeah,
And if you're saying that an animal is not an organism, then holy shit, do we have work to do?
Yeah, that was painful when I heard it the first time. Yeah, all the stuff that I need already in a nice table.
So is he going to get your vote for dumb fuck of the year?
I didn't take a look at the other contestants, so I don't know.
Let me go down the list for you. Okay, so to start off, I have number 1, nature hacker.
Oh God.
Number 2, true empiricism. Number 3, Matt Slick. Number 4, Crow 777.
That was the guy with the
eyewitnesses with the rockets.
Yeah, exactly. Who was north of the launch site and for some reason holds the picture or the camera. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Number 5 was Anthony Riley. Number 6 is Antonio Superats. Number 7 is Pete Chia. Number 8 is Patricia Steer. Number 9 is Von Helton, and number 10 is Tommy Hall, another evolution denialist.
No G-Man on the list?
Nope, G-Man has been disqualified because he already won the first one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's hard to tell. I think I'm going to look at the most stupid video of those guys and then make my vote.
All right. So since you're in here first, I'm just going to give this to you. Control-C, Control-V. If you look at the internal chat.
Yes, just give me a second. Okay, thanks. I'm going to copy it. By the way, can you hear my keyboard when I'm typing?
Nope.
He's here.
Oh, okay. I guess do a sound check and then I'll leave.
Yep, right. Anthony, are you online? I think you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
As soon as he
Can you hear me?
speaks, I'm going. There he is. All right, I'm out of here then. So take care, everyone. And Anthony, congratulations on making it into the running for Dumb Fuck of the Year. Peace out, guys.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I can. The chat, can you hear both of us? Because I actually want the chat to confirm it first. Oh, we've got exactly one guy in the chat. 2. Come on. Yeah, he can hear us. Hi, Red. So, first of all, I think we can limit this hangout to about 2 hours beginning from now on.
Sure.
Okay, and the second thing is, since you are the guest, you may start, but what I don't want this hangout to become is some sort of philosophical clusterfuck. Okay, so I want this hangout to stick to the science, not the philosophy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, science is fine.
Great. Okay, so you may start.
All right, so just remind me the topic. Just tell me the topic for tonight is evolution, yeah?
Yes.
So, all right, so there's just me and you in the hangout, nobody else.
It's just me right now, yes. After you're gone, maybe I'm going to do an after show hangout, but that's a different thing. So it's just you and me.
All right, well, first of all, I apologize that I was so late. I got held up in work.
That shit happens. That's okay.
Yeah, it does. All right. Let me just see. Just making sure
by the way, this is open format.
How's my sound? Is my sound loud enough, quiet enough?
Yeah, it's great. In case it's too much or too low, I can regulate it from here. So we may just start.
Okay. So we're here today to discuss evolution and the evidence that supports it and the evidence that may not support it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. My position on it is, I'm not satisfied that there is enough evidence to prove it, that we are here because of evolution.
Okay,
that doesn't mean that I reject all other forms. It doesn't mean that I reject evolution. I just say that I'm not satisfied that the evidence that supports evolution is anywhere near enough to prove that we are here because of evolution.
Okay, what do you mean by the forms?
What do I mean by the forms?
Yeah, you said something like that doesn't mean that I disagree with all the forms.
All other forms. I mean, I'm not saying that I know why we're here. I'm not saying that we are here because of creation. I'm not saying that we're not. I'm not saying that we're here because of evolution. I'm not saying we're not. What I'm saying is, I'm not satisfied that the evidence proves that evolution is the reason why we are here.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have a suggestion. May I present you with some of the evidence and you tell me why you disagree with it?
Certainly.
Okay. So one of the things which I hear creationists here, I mean, you're saying that you're not necessarily creationist, but the point is the same. In our genome, there's a gene called MYH16, and its function, as it is in the other apes and monkeys, is to increase the size of jaw muscles. It's the gene that makes, for example, gorillas and chimpanzees' jaws so massive so they can break or bite harder stuff that we as humans can't. And
Okay.
in our genome, it is also there, but it is deactivated. It doesn't work. Then if we aren't related to monkeys, why are we made of broken monkey genes?
Well, you could say the same about bananas. You know, the comparison with bananas with regards to the actual genes involved in a banana is something like 55% comparable to humans.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that we should all be yellow and bent. It just means that we have options that in the DNA it controls by doing different things.
No, but
so if you have the ability to mess around with the genome, then you may be able to switch some things on and switch some things off. And what you're asking there is simply a reflection of that exact point. If you've got the ability to control the DNA, you can mess around with what comes on and what comes off. So the reason why it's there is because it's there in all animals. I would have thought.
No, it's only present in a certain type of mammals.
All right, so let's accept that. I mean, I don't know whether that's true or not.
Yeah,
I'll take you on face value.
Source. I can post the source. Give me a second. I have it all here.
No, it's okay. So, I'm happy to
just for the side.
I'm happy to accept
the side chat also to fact check me, if that's okay. Here it is. Yes.
Say again.
It's for mainly for the side chat so that they can fact check me if I'm saying something wrong.
Okay. Well, I don't know whether your point is correct or not, and I don't know whether it's scientifically correct or pseudo-scientifically correct. I suspect it's probably scientifically correct. But
yeah,
let's
it's gone through the peer review process.
Let's move forward. What does it actually prove?
It proves that we have a gene. Oh wait, I can hear myself. Can you make your loudspeakers a little tuned down?
It might be that point that Reds makes about me. Might be because of this gears. Hang on. Communications, microphone communications, speaker communications. Right. Is that any better?
Test. Yeah, it's better. Okay.
Okay.
What it proves is that we have a gene that is also present in our closest relatives, well, what we think are our closest relatives. And we have a gene that is broken. It doesn't work, but it still serves a function because according to the paper that I posted in the chat, the reduction of the jaw muscle size allowed the brain to grow larger. So this shows a direct connection between a gene that breaks and evolutionary advantage coming out of it.
Yeah, but let's put this into context. How many genes are there
in our genome?
Yeah.
I don't know, a few billions.
Yeah. So you found one thing that's comparable to a monkey.
No.
Just these arguments that support evolution.
No, I mean,
but if you look at any...
Wait. This gene is one of many examples. The genome of us and monkeys is 90% or 95%, as far as I remember correctly, identical. But this is
that's fine. I don't. But
Yeah,
do you realize and do you agree with me that the other 4% that's not the same is when we're talking about billions of DNA combinations is a lot different when you're talking about billions.
Yes.
So really, in the context of it's actually an irrelevant point because there are at least millions of differences in DNA when you're comparing the one that is what, billions.
But
the chances of
the point is we can trace this mutation back. We know when it occurred according to two different sources. By the way, you can look this up in the Wikipedia. It's also in Wikipedia. Just search for MYH16. It's estimated to have happened at 2.4 to 5.3 million years ago. So we can directly trace back a mutation that was beneficial to us, and where a gene that serves a function to all our closest relatives serves a completely different function to us. This is exactly that kind of consequence that you would see out of evolution. Genes switching off in order to make place for something different.
Okay. How many years ago did you say this was?
2.4 to 5.3 million years ago, according to two different sources.
All right. Do you realize that that is totally at odds with what science, in commas, dictates is the maximum time that humans have roamed on this earth?
I didn't say. How do you define human?
Human.
Yeah,
human.
because human isn't a species. No. There's a difference between humans as species, because we are a species of humans, but not all humans are our species.
No, humans are one species, correct?
No, humans is a subcategory out of great apes, and humans are.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, it's per
I don't
definition.
agree with that comment.
It is per definition. That's how humans and how apes are defined.
Hang on. Say the definition again. Humans are what?
Humans are a category of apes, of great apes.
Okay, so I'm going to make 2 points with regard to that comment. The first point is if humans are a subcategory of great apes, that means that we are right. This is where we have to get a little bit technical because we need to look up what you mean by the word species, and what science means by the word species.
A species
because pull up your screen so we can see your screen.
I'm just on Wikipedia for the genus of Homo.
No, that's okay. We've moved from that point. That's okay now. We'll come back to it, I'm sure. Screen and go to the Google homepage.
Okay. How this is done here? Wait, give me a second. No.
Yeah.
Screen sharing. Okay. This is my sources. I've got 3 monitors here. Just give me a second. This should be the middle one.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, great. Okay, so just type in definition of species on Google.
Species biology. I'll link to the English version.
Sure.
Okay.
See that? Is it? Well, I'd rather not the Wikipedia definition of. Can we just go with the basic one on Google, whatever you get in the search results? Because you usually get 5 or 6 different definitions.
Not really. There's only one biological definition. Actually, wait. I've probably got a nice source. Let me take the one from dictionary.com.
Sure. Okay, let's see what it says. A class of individuals.
Biology, the major subdivision of a genus or subgenus regarded as the basic category of biological classification, composed of related individuals that resemble one another, are able to breed among themselves, but are not able to breed with members of another species.
Great. Okay, so with regard to the final point it makes there about breeding, they are able to breed amongst themselves. Category of great apes.
Yes.
Therefore, there must be a connection from a procreation point of view with apes.
Procreation, you mean today?
Yeah, there has to be. Otherwise, they're not the same species. They're not a
Yeah,
subcategory.
they are not. They are not the same species.
You said that it was a subcategory of.
Yes,
So
because apes. No, because apes is a name that implies the different species of apes. We are not the same species as apes.
Exactly. That's why we are not unable to breed with them. Correct.
Yes.
So if we're unable to breed with them and we're therefore different species, how on earth are we connected to them from the evolution point of view?
Yeah, we're cousins practically.
You can breed with
We
cousins.
We had a common ancestor.
They're not cousins.
We had a common. Let me explain it. We had a.
No, I understand. I do understand. I think everybody understands the common ancestor.
Okay, good. Yeah, at least I've seen people who don't understand it. Okay.
Maybe we should explain it for the sake of explanation. Let's go through the explanation for the common ancestor.
Okay, common ancestors. We and all the different apes share a set of common ancestors. That means that a few million years ago, there was one species that was somehow separated into different parts for some reason that I don't know at the moment. And at that point where they couldn't interbreed anymore. Wait, what?
That is the issue, though, because that point where they separate is what they call where it makes or breaks your arguments. Because the bottom line is, for a species to be separate from another species, it must be, according to science, incapable to reproduce.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's of the same species.
Yeah, and there are different mechanisms on how that can work. For example.
So if we trace human ancestry back and go back as many, I mean, it doesn't matter how far you go back in human ancestry, there is no connection with apes at all.
Yes, there is.
However, you describe it as a subcategory of the great ape.
Yes.
But that's not. That's firstly, it's a categorization, okay. But most importantly, hang on. Most importantly, although it may be a subcategory of, which is obviously a man-made categorization. It's scientific categorization. Unable to reproduce with them, and I've never. Where is the evidence that shows this separation that you're describing, and where is the evidence that shows that that was the point of being formed that was now unable to reproduce?
In this,
because this is
example?
The whole point. In any example, you can compare it.
Okay.
You can compare
because
donkeys and horses.
Yes, I have a nice list of examples where we can see speciation events right now. So there are various stages of speciation. First of all, when you're clearly in the same species, that means that the individuals can reproduce and their offspring is fertile in the optimal case.
Yeah.
Okay. Then when two populations go further apart genetically, there are cases when the hybrids are formed by interbreeding, the hybrids have reduced fertility. For example, there is, and this has gone through the peer literature, a frog species that shows exactly that. I will post the link into the chat so you can see it. It's the first one. Then the next step in speciation would be if, when you have the two populations, the resulting hybrids are no longer interfertile completely. That's the point where we have two different species. For example, as you said, in horses and donkeys, their hybrids are not interfertile anymore. And there's a species of newts called Triturus cristatus or something, in which the hybrids are not longer interfertile because of unpaired chromosomes. And here is the link for the literature. Okay. Oopsie. I ignore the last part. The next step, there's also examples, for example, in plants. There are some, there's a species of cotton called Gossypium hirsutium, in which there is a successful fertilization. That would be the next step. as a successful fertilization, but the embryos that were resulting would automatically die because of genetic incompatibility. Also, I'll post the source.
I've just realized I was on mute for the last. I've just said something that you've missed because I was on mute.
Okay.
You haven't really addressed my question there. I asked, are you able to demonstrate the point in which the new species of humans formed away from the great ape?
I asked you if you were if you were talking about that special example or generally, because what I understand from your question is because what I see in your question is, can I demonstrate that speciation happens? And yes, I can, and I've just showed you in the chat the link.
Okay. No. Can you demonstrate that speciation happens within humans from apes? Can you do that?
It's quite hard because we don't have the DNA anymore.
So you're relying on an argument that you're actually unable to prove.
I'm relying on an argument that I can show that is happening right now, and that I can therefore use because it's reasonable to assume that it also happened in the past, or that it could happen in the past. We know that speciation happens. Wait, we have direct evidence. We can see that directly, that speciation happens today. Therefore, we can assume that speciation happened. Right?
No, I don't agree.
Why?
No, I don't agree. Well, firstly, you can't make the assumption that speciation happened to support your argument if you haven't got evidence of speciation. Because
I just showed you it. I just showed you various examples of various speciation events happening right now.
No, I don't disagree that speciation events may happen right now. What I'm saying is, you're unable to prove scientifically that speciation did occur that split humans away from the great apes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, which is in essence. Well, you said you couldn't before. You said it was an assumption.
Yeah, because I thought you were talking generally, so I brought up examples from the present. So
all right, I don't disagree with the speciation events of the present. I disagree with the speciation event that you're referring to with regards to the because ultimately the speciation events that you're showing that happens presently, in itself, you can argue and discuss the validity of what you're saying.
No.
Because ultimately, usually they can still reproduce.
No. When their gene pools are no longer compatible, that's when you have two different species, and we've observed that directly. You can't dispute it. If you have two separate gene pools forming from one connected one, then you have a speciation event, and that is what we have seen directly.
So if this is true, and I don't know whether it's true or not, this would prove...
Do you want more examples?
You have to bear with me, I'm having something to eat. No, I'm all right for the examples. Accept your point. What I'm asking is, if speciation events prove that there is evolution, which is what you're saying is the case, agreed?
Yes.
You're saying that speciation events prove evolution. Then let's go. Let's
wait. What I'm saying is, we have a theory that describes the amount of species that we have today, and we can make predictions based out of it. And one prediction is that we can observe speciation events today. That means that by directly observing speciation events, we can at least confirm that the theory holds up to that point. So it's the running out of my English skills. So
that's okay. So
it helped that.
All right. So
yeah. Okay.
Okay. With regards. Okay. So with regards to speciation events, just clarify what you said when you were describing what this means. What does this prove?
Can you repeat the question?
What does speciation events prove? What does it prove?
When we have a speciation event, that means that we have two different gene pools. Agreed?
Well, I don't know if I agree with I don't know whether the evidence that you're giving is true or not.
No.
Relying on
No. Wait. This has nothing to do with the evidence. This is just a question based on the definitions. If we have two different species, that means we have two different gene pools. Agreed?
Correct.
Okay, good. What do you think happens when a mutation occurs in one species? That is beneficial. For
Any
example,
mutation.
yeah, anything. Anything. For example, something that is beneficial or that helps the species in which it occurs fill out a particular niche.
It doesn't become a new species. Species it is in. It's just adapted
it
in some way.
doesn't become a new species. We already have two species, and in one of them there's a mutation occurring. Something beneficial. Whatever. What happens?
Nothing. The species remains intact.
Yes, but the mutation that occurred can no longer spread to the other species. Agreed? Because there's this barrier between them.
Otherwise it would be the same. Whoa. It couldn't spread to the other species before because it was a different species.
Yes.
Agreed?
When we have the two different species and a mutation occurs in one, that means that the mutation can only reach the individuals in that species. Or to be exact, it can only spread in the gene pool of that species. It can obviously not.
Yeah, but you're implying that the mutation could transfer between both species in the first place by making that point, and that's not the case.
No. When we have two different species and a mutation happens in one, it can't spread to the other, per definition.
I agree.
Okay, great.
But what does that prove? That doesn't prove that doesn't prove anything.
When we have a speciation event, you ask me when we have a speciation event, how does it prove evolution? Okay, that's what you asked me, right?
No, I asked you what does it prove.
What does it prove? Okay.
Go on.
Okay, when we have a mutation appearing in one of the two species, that means that only that species can fill out the niche that it is now better fitted because of the mutation. Okay, but then what happens if you wait some time? Those two species which are already apart diverge further because the mutation that happens on one side can't get to the other one and the other way around, right?
Agreed.
Okay, so wait a million years. You think they're still more or less identical?
No, they're not identical at all.
Great.
Two different species from the beginning are not identical.
Yeah, but they're going to diverge more.
Well, it doesn't matter. They began independent anyway, so it doesn't matter whether they diverge more or not.
No, I said we had a speciation event.
Yeah.
That means we originally had one species. Wait, we originally had one species, and then after the speciation event, however, by what mechanism it worked, because there are several mechanisms for which it works, we have two, and they are no longer interbreedable. Okay. So that means after
hang on. Two different. Hang on. Whoa. Two separate species were not interbreedable in the first instance. They were separate.
Yes, after
one species.
After
one species, for example,
speciation event, not before the speciation event. We originally start with one species, and that splits up into two species because there's a speciation event. And then afterwards, there's a mutation in one of them, but not in the other one of them, because the mutation can't spread around to the other gene pool because they are now no longer interbreedable.
I'm sure you said that we started off with two different species.
No, we started with one, and then afterwards we had a speciation event.
Okay. So then what you're saying is they want...
Okay, I'm good again.
Yeah. Are you done?
It brought me a little out of my pace. Okay. So.
Okay, so let's start with dogs.
Yeah, okay, let's start with dogs.
So let's start with saying is dogs. A speciation event happens where one dog suddenly gets a stronger sense of smell. Or you tell me, what's the mutation? You tell me the mutation that we have.
Great. A speciation event has to happen not to an individual, but to a population. We have the initial population of dogs, which are one species.
Yeah.
And the way, for example, a speciation event occurs is by a geological or geographical separation. For example, there's some species of sparrow here in Europe, and before the last ice age, they were one species, and they were actually separated by the large glaciers that were covering the European land during the last ice age.
Right.
One survived in southern Spain, and the other one somewhere in Turkey, I think. But they were separated. No individual from the one side could reach the other one. Wait. And what happened is they were still compatible. But if a mutation occurred on the one side, the genes couldn't spread anymore to the other side. And that eventually led to a bigger divergence. And after the glaciers thawed up 20,000 years ago or so, actually the both populations reconquered the Central Europe. And now here in Europe, we have two species of sparrow that are no longer incompatible, share the same area, and are clearly two different species. And we can trace that genetically.
Did you say no longer incompatible?
No longer compatible, sorry. They can't interbreed anymore. They could before the ice age, but they can't interbreed anymore.
So what you're saying is that the division of the population has created two subpopulations, which have over time an incompatibility from a genetic point of view.
Right.
Which now makes them a new species?
Yes. Well, actually two.
So you would have to you'd have to prove that they were unsuccessful at mating, because they would still be genetically compatible.
You mean that they were once successful in mating?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can check.
So
you can check, for example, fossils from the time to go look if there were two different species back then or just one.
Yeah, but this is where we have a problem with the definition of species, because if you describe the dogs that split because of a rift between a mountain range or an ice age split down the middle, these dogs are still genetically capable of reproduction. And if you're saying that they're no longer two and that they're no longer capable, the onus is then on you to prove that they couldn't breed.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't believe that they wouldn't. I don't accept that they wouldn't be incompatible.
You think they would be incompatible also back then? Or do I misunderstand?
I think that they would be. No, maybe you misunderstand. I think that once you rejoin the group together, let's say you got rid of all the mountains and you were left at a level playing field, and they were able to reproduce again.
Yes.
Technically, they would be blocked. Well, I don't agree. So then I would ask you, prove in them circumstances, or even in similar circumstances where you have a split, that that there is genetic incompatibility.
Wait, give me a second. I have an example here. I'm posting it in the chat again. This is an example of a species of mouse on the Faroe Islands splitting in two different species. And there is another example, which is about fishes in a lake in Africa, which shows a different pattern, a similar pattern.
All right.
One original species being separated and then forming two different species.
Okay, so can we look at the mouse one?
Yeah.
Can we use?
I don't know if I can open it, because for opening the paper, I would have to connect to my university via VPN, and I guess that will fuck up the Hangout.
Well, all I was going to ask is, could you tell me a little bit more about the diversity bit? You know, the split in the mice.
Yeah, we had one identical. Fuck. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we had one set of mice that were definitely one species. And it was observed directly that they merged into two different groups that were at one point no longer interbreedable, and therefore two different species.
Right. This is where we need to see the evidence of this. We need more than just what you say, because
yeah, we could look directly into the paper.
Do you have, I don't suppose you have a copy of that, do you?
The paper.
Say again.
In this case, it's a book and not a paper, but whatever.
Are you able to illustrate this or demonstrate this?
Demonstrate that this was the case?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Verify it.
I can't look into the book today because I don't have it here.
So what was it? Just humor me. What was the event that split up the species? What was the division?
I have no idea. And it's not important. Because what's important?
It is.
No, because what's important is we had one species first and it split into two. That's the important thing.
It is important because the split, what you say happened, is the bit that we need to discuss. Because the split, what you say happened, doesn't really happen. This is the point. We need to discuss this split that you say happens.
So you say the split that we observed doesn't happen because I can tell you the mechanism right now.
No, I'm asking you to prove. I'm asking you to prove the split.
Yeah, you have these two different types groups of mice, and you try to interbreed them, and you don't get any offspring. At least not any fertile offspring. That means you have two different species that were not there before.
It doesn't. It just means that you've got a set of mice that can't breed.
No, because
no,
because if they couldn't breed at all, they would die out. They have to be able to breed among themselves, but not from one group to the other one. And that's what we have.
That's right. Yes, but that doesn't mean. So, hang on. What you've done is you've jumped from one point into a different point and not proven the first point first. Let's go back to the split. Let's go back to the split. What was the event that split the population?
I have no idea.
So how do you know there was a split?
Because before the split there was one species, and after the split there were two species. So there must have been a split.
Or there were two species in there in the first place.
No, because then you would have been able to interbreed to get them to mate and not get fertile offspring.
No, you can't, because two separate species can't breed together. That's the whole point.
Exactly. So before the speciation event, you would be able to show that there are two different kinds of mice that were not able to crossbreed. Then you would have two different species, but that was not the case. You had one species that could completely interbreed. That was one gene pool.
No, I understand what you're saying. What I'm asking you to do is prove that there were two previous species. No.
Yeah, by trying to interbreed them and being successful in that.
Wait. I'm asking you to prove that there was one species that was successful at mating, and that species split. I'm not asking you to do anything else other than that, because I suspect that there were actually two species there in the first place. Not one species that split.
I can't do it for that example, because I can't open the book right now.
Are you able to do it with the fish example?
Just give me a second. Probably not. Oh yeah. No. That's it. Just give me a second.
Sure. It's okay. I'm eating anyway. Can you have that?
Yes, I was just noticing a bone. Yeah, that's just the.
Yeah, it looks like I can do it. Just give me a second.
Sure.
I hope I don't need my VPN connection, because that would make it possible. It's
Okay.
from a 1990 paper from Nature, October 11th. Page 500. Sometimes quite annoying when you're looking for 508. No, it's not. It's not the same one. Give me a second. Yeah, but it's a similar one. I mean, seem to describe the same speciation event.
Okay.
Articles. Maya. Maya. Yeah. PDF. I hope I can access it. I can't, but I can show you the abstract. Yes.
You found it?
Yes, I found it. Let me share my screen. It's only the abstract, because otherwise I would need to use my VPN, and that would probably fuck out the hangout. I don't want to risk it.
The abstract should be good.
Yes. Screen share this one. So here it is.
Can you zoom in a little bit? You still there? Hello? It appears that he's been kicked out of his own chat. I don't know what's going on here. I don't even know if you can hear me still.
So, can you hear me? Somebody here? Can you hear me? Uh, so, is anybody here? Is this, wait, okay. It looks like I'm getting a picture again. How can I test that? By using one of my monitors. Hoppa. So you should be able to see my, yes. That's not supposed to happen. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to re-invite my friend. So, this is annoying. This is, what the fuck? I see you are back. Hello.
Hello. I'm back. Oh, you're on a better quality line now as well, by the way. It's a lot better.
Yeah, I know. It's weird for some reason.
Because it was really broken before. It was as if you were on a dial-up connection and struggling with bandwidth.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I have a 100 megabit line. It shouldn't happen. I have no idea how that could happen.
It was really poor. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that was hearing bad quality sound from yourself.
So I have the abstract.
Okay, so Lake Victoria. Yeah, Lake Victoria, together with its satellite lakes, harbors roughly 200 endemic forms of what? 200 forms of. Is that a descriptive word? Is that an adjective? Cichlid fishes.
Cichlid is a genus. So it's a certain group of fish.
200 types. So 200 types of fish. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're talking about 200 species of fish.
Yeah. And yet the lake system is less than 1 million years old. This flock has attracted attention because of the possibility that it evolved within the lake from one ancestral species. Okay, so the word there will be possibility. Okay, not the actuality or the evidentially proven. It's just the possibility that it evolved within the lake from one ancestral species, and that biologists are thus presented with a case of explosive evolution. Within the past decade, however, morphology has increasingly emphasized the view that the flock may be polyphyletic.
Polyphyletic.
I don't even know what that means. We have sequenced up to 803 base pairs of mitochondrial DNA from 14 representative Victorian species and 23 additional African species.
I think this is still not the right paper. Just give me a second. Yeah, this is from 1990. I was searching for one from 1970. Yeah.
By the way, what's my background noise like?
Okay, I can hear you really clean.
No, my background noise. Can you hear what's going on in the background?
No.
Great.
1970 paper.
See, I'm not at this point. All I'm trying to do is fact find. I just want to know what the facts were in the circumstances in which you're describing, because I just want to see.
Okay. Wait, just give me a second. Okay.
Sure.
So this isn't still the wrong paper.
Oi, what are you doing?
Okay. So just for everybody, I'm going to link it in the chat so you can fact check it. This is from a 1970s book. I can't open it. I'm sorry.
It's okay. What what I was wanting to hope to establish was I was hoping to establish what the facts were, because the argument is that you start off with one species. Let's just paraphrase it so we can put it into an easy context. You start off with a group with dogs, okay?
Yes.
And then you split the group into two. You put one half of the group in England, you put the other half in Australia, and you allow them to run off on their own branch.
Yes.
Yeah. The argument that you're saying about the division is caused by time, which is the evolution argument, correct?
The genetic division.
So
Yeah.
it's caused by time, yeah?
Yes.
So what I wanted to see was if when the group was reintroduced, for example, all the dogs then got put into, for example, Italy, and all the dogs from Australia got put into Italy, were they able to then reproduce? Because you're saying that they're unable to reproduce because they've formed their own species. However, I don't agree. All I think that's happened is they've lost the ability to reproduce. Now, that doesn't...
Reproduce.
Huh?
Reproduce in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make them die out. That would kill them.
So, would kill who?
Yeah, if a population is completely unable to reproduce, then the population will, in one generation, die out.
Okay, so what you... No, that's not what my point was. My point was, let's say there's 100 dogs in England, and
Okay.
there's 100 dogs in Australia. Okay, you left them for 50 million years, and they all reproduced successfully.
Yes,
and they had and the 100 became, I don't know, let's say it became 500,000 each. If you then got all the males from England and all the females from Australia and put them all in Italy, would they be able to reproduce? Because you're saying that they're unable to reproduce. However, I don't agree. All I think that's happened is they've lost the ability to reproduce. Are you saying that the population would die out because they're unable to reproduce?
The ones that you put together?
Yeah.
Yeah, that depends. If they are so different that they are two different species, then yes, they will die out.
So this is the ultimate test, the ability to reproduce.
Yes, because that's the definition of a species. If you can't no longer form fertile hybrids from the two populations, then you have two different species.
Agreed. Now let's look within a species. Let's go with humans.
Yes.
Are you aware that lots of humans are unable to reproduce within their own species?
Yeah, but that's because, for example, that their reproductive organs are defect. That's not because you know that you know that not having working reproductive systems and being genetically incompatible to the rest of the population are two different things, right?
Yeah, but in essence, if you have humans that are unable to reproduce, by the definition of species according to science, that would mean that they are no longer the same species.
No, because their genes are still compatible. The point is...
Go back to the definition.
Wait, I've got the link for it somewhere. Oh, damn, you can see my bank info here. That's bad.
It's okay, I wasn't watching.
Just give me a second.
Sure.
No, this one.
Species, yeah.
Yeah.
So where would it be the case in humans that are unable to reproduce? Why do they not satisfy the definition of species?
Because they are genetically compatible.
Hang on.
As I said, yes.
Make reference to the biological definition that you have there. Just read it, and then.
But are not able to breed with members of another species. Are able to breed among themselves, but are not able to breed with members of another species.
Okay, so with regards to the dogs and the humans that are unable to reproduce with each other for whatever reason, doesn't mean that they're a different set of species. Regardless of the reason, it just says they're unable to reproduce. It doesn't say unable to reproduce because of genetics. It just says unable to reproduce.
Yes.
So how can you accept that humans that are unable to reproduce with each other, on the assumption that the humans are all the same species, that then fails to satisfy the definition of species, which must mean that the humans that are unable to reproduce must be a different species. But we know that's not the case.
Because I understand the difference between genetic incompatibility and infertility.
That's not the definition for species, though. So what you're trying to do is twist the definition of species.
No.
Let's go with a different definition of species and see if it clears it up. So can you get a different definition of species? Because that one doesn't work. So we'll do it science.
For example, a species is a group of actually or potentially interbreeding populations that are reproductively isolated from other groups.
All right, stop. Wait. Do we agree at this point that that definition that you've got on your screen does not explain the ability of humans to reproduce where the humans are unable to reproduce? So the humans that aren't able to reproduce no longer satisfy that definition. Agreed or not?
Not really, because the definition we have here is not clear enough on the topic of fertility.
So therefore you agree? If the humans that are no longer able to reproduce don't satisfy that definition...
Wait. What do we mean by not longer? There's a difference between not at all and not longer.
Answer me this, yes or no. The humans that are unable to reproduce with each other, do they, yes or no, satisfy that definition that you have there?
Yes. Because they are not... Yes.
Whoa.
Wait. Yes, it does, because they never could interbreed at all.
No, that's not the reason.
That's the difference between infertility and genetic incompatibility, and that is not described in the definition.
No, stop. What you're doing is you're twisting that definition to suit your argument. On your argument, that definition is not satisfied because the humans that are not able to reproduce are not able to breed amongst themselves. So by that definition, they are not the same species. Okay,
they are not able to produce with anything because they are infertile. That's a difference from genetic incompatibility.
Right, but that's not the definition. The humans that are unable to reproduce do not satisfy that definition. So therefore, by that definition that you're looking at, they are not the same species, but we know that they are. So what we'll do is we'll do what science does, and we'll change the definition, and we'll see if we can get another definition that might explain that.
We can, for example, add the fact that the reproductive systems must work, that they are able to interbreed with somebody or something.
So, okay, so the humans that are unable to breed with themselves, let's say that they go through a process. Oh,
wait. Breed with themselves. Do you mean themselves like themselves, or themselves like the rest of the species?
You get a group of people that are unable to breed with themselves for whatever biological or fertility-related reason. There are loads of us. Loads of humans have to go through IVF treatment to get children. Yeah, they're unable to.
Yeah, because their reproductive organs are fucked up.
No. That's not the case. A lot of people are infertile for a lot of really different reasons, and a lot of people qualify and are able to successfully breed children after IVF treatment, infertility treatment. Agreed?
Yeah. Yes, because they're infertile, anyways.
Yeah.
Or before that.
Right. So the humans that can't breed in amongst themselves by that definition on your screen, therefore fail to satisfy that definition of species. However, if we fuck around with things so that they then can start breeding again, back up through the process of IVF, they then satisfy that definition of species again. Agreed?
No, because when you take that look of the sentence, are able to breed among themselves.
Yeah.
That would, the way I think you're interpreting is that if they are infertile, that means they are automatically a species on their own.
No, what I'm saying is that definition that you've produced for the word species, the humans or dogs or any other species that are unable to breed amongst themselves, therefore would not satisfy that definition, and by that definition would be described as a different species because they're unable to breed. So what I'm saying is that definition is not good enough.
Yeah,
okay?
That's why I added that are able to breed anyways. They must, of course, they must be able to breed. That's implied somehow. Because if they can't breed at all, there's no sense in talking about them.
No, if they can't breed at all, then they become a different species according to that definition. No. Yes, that's what it says.
Yeah. Okay. Agreed.
Okay.
But wait. When they are infertile, they are no longer. Wait.
No.
Wait. When they are infertile, they can't spread their genes anyway. Agreed?
Right.
That means they're not a part of the gene pool anymore because they're unable to give their genes to the next generation.
That depends on your definition of infertile.
Infertile means that you can't have children.
Right.
Infertile means, okay.
I know what infertile means, but what I'm saying to you is the humans that are unable to reproduce in the pool of humans that we all live in called the Earth, if you get all them humans, if you get all them humans that are unable to breed, and you artificially do it so that they effectively do breed, that means they then satisfy the definition. Agreed?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the case where you see the special events that you were describing before,
yes.
What happens if you get the second group, once they've had the division and they have the second group, and then they're unable to reproduce as claimed by the special event itself? If you then fuck around with things like artificial insemination and you then make it work, you can't
make it work. You can't make it work. At the point where there are two different species, they can't interbreed anymore. No matter how much sperm you pump into the female.
You've just said it. At the point where they are two different species.
Yes.
And my point is they don't change the species. They are still the same species.
No, they're not by definition.
What? Because you say they are unable to breed?
Because they are no longer genetically compatible. Because you can fuck them all day long you want. They can't have fertile hybrids. That's the point where we say there are two different species.
So how would your argument differ if you then genetically or the dog's pissing me off. Come on me. Sorry, the dog was annoying me. How would you? Yeah, I have a new one. Okay. She's really good actually.
Congrats.
Thank you. How would your argument differ if you artificially inseminated and got successful breeding from the two, what you claim is different species, but what I claim is actually the same species,
Okay.
how would your argument then differ? Because they are then able to breed.
When you can make them breed successfully, and when that offspring is fertile with the
You're
two
right.
populations, then
Right.
they are not the same species.
So, okay.
Then they are the same species. When they
Okay, so
when the two populations can interbreed and when the offspring is fertile, then they are the same species.
All right, so let's go back to the dog scenario. The 100
okay.
dogs in England, the 100 dogs in England, and the 100 dogs in Australia that have now become 10,000 dogs. If you get, I don't know, 5,000 male dogs from England, and you get the one female dog from Australia, sooner or later, one of them is going to be able to inseminate the female dog from Australia.
No, that depends. That depends.
Well,
it depends, because after you've separated them, that's the point where the mutations kick in. When the one side, the mutations on the one side can't reach the second population.
Yeah, but
okay.
we see.
And when you get them back together, it depends. When those two populations, those two spreaded populations who can't reach each other anymore because of the geological separation.
Yeah.
When you can make them breed and when that offspring is fertile, then they are still the same species. But when you bring them back together and they fuck all day long, and you either you just get infertile hybrids or you get no hybrids at all, that's when they are two separate species.
But by the definition there, it doesn't say about the children being offsprings. It just says that are able to breed amongst themselves. So by definition, if you're able to reproduce one dog from that female, then they satisfy the definition and it's no longer a separate species, as you claim.
When you can make one of the male population interbreed with the female that you've brought there, then they are in the same species as long as the offspring can interbreed again. Because what's important? The question is, one species by definition shares a gene pool. Okay,
Yeah.
That means that a gene has to be able to pass from one side of the gene pool over various generations to the completely other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and that means that if you have hybrids, but they are not fertile, that means that the gene can't pass the population barrier between the two.
Yeah, but they were still able to successfully breed.
But not yes, in one generation, but the offspring would be infertile. So you can't spread the genes from one side to the other.
But the mere fact that they were, all you're arguing there is that the recessive gene on both strands carries over.
Why recessive? It doesn't have to be recessive. It's not about one gene. It's about the entire genome. When they're not compatible, what?
Yeah, but the fact that they were able to reproduce upon reintegration means that they are still the same species. All that's happened is the genetics in that species or in that pool of population has become more diverse. But it doesn't mean that they've become a new species. All it means is that the gene pool is within that gene pool has changed. But that doesn't mean that they're a new species. They can still breed.
When they can still breed, then they are not a new species when the offspring is fertile.
Well, that's not the definition.
Yes.
The definition doesn't say that. Okay, right. We need a different definition because that definition doesn't say about the offspring.
Wait, among themselves. See how it says among themselves? Yeah. That means that the hybrids from the mixing, from the first generation after that mixing event, should be fertile. It should be able to breed, but it doesn't. Yeah. Therefore, two different species.
Yeah, but this is the whole point, because if, like, going back to the dogs, if you get 5,000 dogs from England and the one female bitch from Australia, they are going to be able to successfully breed. Not every human, not every dog will
not necessarily. It depends on the time scale. When you leave them enough time, they will become so incompatible that they are not able to breed anymore.
This is the whole point, isn't it? The ability to breed or not breed.
The ability to shift the gene from one side to the gene pool to another one. That's the criterion for a species. And if that isn't possible, then no, they are two completely different, two different species.
Right. Show me the events that you posted in chat before.
Yes.
Not the fish and not the mouse, because that kind of crashed it. But
The other ones.
earlier on, you said you were talking about special events.
Yes. Okay. For the guys in the chat, I already posted that stuff in the chat quite at the beginning of the hangout. If you can reach it, you can take a look at it. If it's not necessarily, if it's not possible, then I can post it again.
Yeah, post it again, just so that I can go back to it later on.
Okay. As I said, there are various stages of speciation. The first one would be where you have one population where there's full genetic compatibility. That's clearly one species. Okay. Next step. Two populations. Hybrids are fertile, but they are not as fertile as the two populations within themselves. We still have that. We have that case. For example, in this was the wrong one. Let me post my source. So for everyone in the chat, you can check it for yourself. Okay. So what's the question?
Oh, sorry, I was waiting for you. I don't see the link that you posted. Where have you put the link?
It's in the not in the Hangout chat. It's in the public.
Oh, it's
chat.
in Skype.
No, in the public chat. When you go to the YouTube page of the live stream, it's there.
Okay. My question was, when you're talking about the special events, are you able to describe? So yeah, are you able to describe the circumstances in what you're describing? You know, when you say it splits, the pool splits, and then you say that the pool gets well, I don't know what you say after that. They're unable to reproduce, so therefore they satisfy the definition. Is that what you're saying?
There's a word for it. I don't know if I can directly translate it to English. What I'm saying is, if there's this mixing event after the separation and the time passing, and they're then compatible.
Well, that mixing event, the word you'd be looking for would be reintroduction.
Actually, I think it would be called secondary bastardization.
Secondary bastardization?
Yes. If I remember my biology course correctly, it was called secondary bastardization.
Not reintroduction?
Let me look it up.
I think, well, that might be a language thing. I don't know, but what I was getting at is when you split the group and time passes, and then you reintroduce the groups together so that they're back into the same pool, what you would then see, if these speciation events are truly forming a new species,
you wouldn't get a new gene pool. You would have still the two separate gene pools.
Yeah, but you've put the gene pool back together. So
no, you can't. Wait. When you put them back together, and they can get fertile hybrids, then they are the same gene pool and therefore the same species. Agreed?
No.
Why?
They're the same species because they've procreated at that point.
Yes, and that's what I said.
Yeah, but no, you made it dependent on getting fertile hybrids, getting fertile dependence from it.
Yeah, the fertility reason is because when you...
No, that's not acceptable. That's not the definition.
Yeah, sure. Because the criterion is, can you spread one gene from the one side of the gene pool to the completely other side? And if you have two populations, there must be a point in that chain where you have to have a hybrid between the two populations. Agreed? And when that hybrid, let's say we're coming from population A and there's a gene in population A, and you want that gene to spread over to population B, there must be a point somewhere when there's where there's an A-B hybrid. Agreed?
Well, no. Why would you need the hybrid? All you need is
by definition. You have to have one specimen of population A procreate with one specimen of population B, and that the generation after that is called the hybrid.
Yeah, but the fact that you get the generation means that they were able to successfully breed. The resulting
they're able to successfully breed, but you have now that hybrid which contains the gene from population A. But if that hybrid is infertile,
no, you're missing the fact. No, the fact that they were able to successfully breed means that they are the same species.
No,
it's not. It's not dependent on the fertility of the offspring.
Sure, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes.
No, it isn't.
Because if you would actually let me finish my point, I could tell you why. You have that hybrid that contains the gene from population A, and you want it to pass to population B.
Yeah.
That means that if that hybrid is fertile and it can interbreed with population B, that means that the gene then can spread in population B. But if it can't, if the AB hybrid is not fertile, then the gene cannot reach a population B anyway. It can't.
Through that particular route. But you know what we see
but you already accepted that there must be at some point an AB hybrid.
No, I don't agree with the AB hybrid bit. The AB hybrid bit is not. No, you're describing a hybrid as what you actually mean is an offspring, not a hybrid, an offspring.
What I mean by hybrid is one parent is in population A of that hybrid, and the other one is in population B. That must happen for a gene from population A to spread to population B.
All right, so let's put this back into really simple terms. The world has humans in it from different castes. They have black guys, they have white guys, they have black women, they have white women, they have brown-haired girls, they have blonde-haired girls, they have redheads, but we're all humans. Agreed?
Yes.
We can't all breed in amongst ourselves. Agreed?
We can.
We can't.
Yeah, I mean, except the individual that can't interbreed is infertile.
Right, so that's the name we give to people that are unable to breed. That we call them infertile.
Yes, because, for example, their reproductive organs doesn't work properly.
Yeah, well, yeah, but there's other reasons genetically why people can't have children. Genetic incompatibility, but that doesn't make them different species. In the same way that when you say that the gene from the gene pool from A passing over to B must happen, otherwise, what did you say? One gene from A doesn't pass the gene. Oh, the fertility of the offspring.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I can understand your confusion. Okay, if we have that one individual that cannot interbreed to a certain set to other individuals, is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is that when you say that there's incompatibility, and you're saying that that's the point when they become a different species, we see that in humans all the time.
No, the point where they become a different species is when the two populations are completely incompatible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
completely.
We see that
completely. That means, for example, let's go to humans. I hate to use the example of humans. Let's take another example. You were starting with dogs. Let's take dogs, okay?
Hang on. Why do you hate to use humans? It's a really good example.
Yeah, okay, then let's use humans. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay. For example, we have two populations of humans.
Okay, so let's call these populations Americans, and the other ones we'll call British.
Okay. A and B. That sounds good to abbreviate. Okay, that means those two sets would be, let's say one for some reason isn't compatible. Let's say one American, one A, is not compatible to the complete set of B, okay?
Yeah, one American is not compatible with all of B, okay?
Okay, right. That doesn't mean that all the other A's are incompatible to B.
Correct.
Good. That means they're still the same species.
Yeah.
Because when you have a gene in A, it can spread to B.
Yeah.
But wait. At the point where every A is no longer compatible to every B, that's the point when we have two different species.
Okay. So do you remember, depending on how you view the world, all the continents used to be one big continent, and they used to generally call it Pangea.
Yes.
Millions of years later, it all split and it became the continents. And for many, many years, we were unable to fly. Humans were not able to fly. We had two separate gene pools. We had one gene pool on one side.
No. We had one gene pool. We still have one. No. Yes.
We had it separated by water. Eventually, we weren't able to cross.
No, there's a difference between the gene pool and the population.
Yeah, one gene pool, but two different populations.
Yes.
So eventually there was a division between them. We were unable to interbreed because of barrier. Yeah.
Yeah, but not genetically. If you would take if you would take let's say for example because I think that the last areas that were actually conquered by humans was North and South America. If you would take one Native American back then, even without their without their trading system and everything, would fly them over to Europe, they would still be compatible.
Which kind of goes against your argument of
because they're still the same species. Because
Yeah.
they're still the same gene pool. Gene pool and population are two different things.
Yeah, I understand that. But what I'm saying
great.
is, if you have two populations, one population that splits, and we have that with humans. The humans were split quite a lot, and it was only recently in recent times that we were able to get across the world easily and interbreed. Why does that not support your argument? Because the argument that you would have is that the gene pools on one side of the ocean was significantly different to the gene pools on the other side.
No, not
but you would
significant.
say, but they're the same species because they're able to breed.
Yes,
but
let's say we wouldn't have invented the ability to fly, and let's say we wouldn't have the ability to buy boats that can go across an ocean, and then let's say we would have another million years of no communication.
Excellent.
Yes, then we would possibly become two different species.
With enough time passing, your argument would be that we would.
With enough times passing, then yes, we would sometime become different species. Yes, but that doesn't happen because.
No,
yes.
Hang on. That's a big claim to say because it doesn't happen. Because sooner or later, there was at some point when they built a boat that was big enough to cross the oceans or whatever.
Because we did, but if we didn't, then that would have happened.
Well. This is the problem because
because when the two populations are separated, that meaning that there's no possibility of interbreeding between them because of geography. That would mean that there would be random mutations on the one side and random mutations on the other one. And since they would be able to spread within their population and not go to the other side, that means that the gene pools of the two populations would diverge, and at some time there would be a point where they were no longer compatible if you brought them back together.
So what you're saying is at that point of incompatibility that all of the population of A were unable to interbreed at all with all of any of the population from B.
Yes, that's the point when we have two different species.
Okay,
and that's actually I think the fourth time that I've told you that.
Yeah, and it's the fourth time I'm trying to get you to see the point that all humans are able to reproduce regardless of where they're from, gene pool wise.
Yeah, no, because we are still part of the same gene pool.
No, what you're doing is blurring the lines because it doesn't support your argument. If you get Aboriginal man and he's a black guy with Aboriginal features and compare him to a European, they are not of the same characteristics. They are different. They have different.
So what? See if they can get fertile offspring, and you have the evidence that they're the same species.
Yes, but no, the evidence is that the same species that they're able to breed, not that they have fertile offspring. Because not everybody has fertile offspring.
It's when they are able to have fertile offspring, that means that a gene from the population of the Aborigine that you were talking about can spread to the other side, and that's the point where they are the same species. Do you agree, for example, that horses and donkeys are the same species? Do you think that horses and donkeys are the same species?
They are the same species, yeah.
No, they are not.
Well, a horse can breed with a donkey and get an ass, isn't it?
Yes, but the resulting offspring is infertile in every case. That means that no horse gene can spread over into the donkey gene pool and vice versa.
Wait. Bear with me one sec.
Wait.
Wait a minute.
I need a suicide axe.
Well, I've got a horse expert coming down now, and I'll just test what you've just said. Bear with me one sec.
Brilliant. Doesn't sound like a horse to me.
Right, we're talking about horses.
All right, okay.
A horse and a donkey breed.
Yeah.
What's the produce? Is it an ass?
It's an ass.
Is that ass able to reproduce with any other animal?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's not something that I've ever.
Is a horse, a donkey, an ass, and a mule? Are they all the same species? Are they all the same?
I would say so. Yeah, they all come from the. What was the animal called? It was dog-like, and it had 5
Yeah,
toes.
sure. They had a common ancestor, but that doesn't mean that they're still the same species, because the criterion for being the same species is if you can have fertile offspring, and with donkeys and
no, it doesn't. It doesn't
horses,
say that. It doesn't say about having fertile offspring. It just says being able to breed. It doesn't say anything about fertile offspring. So what I'm going to ask you?
No, it's either the mule or the ass can't reproduce.
Yeah, one or the other.
It's either a mule and a mule can't reproduce, or an ass and an ass can't reproduce. They're both sterile.
Yeah. But the point is, what you've done there is you've twisted the interpretation.
Wait. Did she just say that the hybrids between horses and donkeys are always sterile?
She said that it was either the mule and the mule are unable to breed, or the ass and the ass are unable to breed.
I think it's the ass and the ass can't reproduce. Because
well, it's irrelevant. The point is
no,
that
it's not irrelevant. It's not irrelevant.
Okay,
no,
so
because when you can get a hybrid reproduce with one of the 2 gene pools, then that would mean that they are the same species.
Yeah, but with redheads, if you have 2 redheads, humans, one redheaded human and another redheaded human, they get a redheaded child, don't they?
No, actually, not always. No.
Not all the time. No.
No, because you realize that every human and every mammal has 2 sets of chromosomes. So we actually have 2 sets of DNA now, and one of them can not be active.
He's right.
Yeah.
He's right, because that's the same with breeding horses.
Yeah.
Some horses are bred for their colour.
Yeah.
Say, for example, if you had a piebald horse that's black and white, you could crossbreed that with Bertha, my horse, who is just black.
Yeah.
But they could throw out a bay horse.
Yeah.
Bay foal. But some stallions will always reproduce.
All right.
Coloured horses, black and white.
Let's go back a bit. An ass, a mule, a donkey, and a horse. They're all the same species.
I would say so, yeah.
Because they've all got similar characteristics, and they all can breed generally between each other. Is that right?
Yeah, I suppose it's looking at it as, well, no, it isn't.
Right. So when you said before about right, this is where we go on a bit of a tangent, but you say that they must produce fertile offspring.
Yes, because that's the only way you can get a gene from one side of the gene pool to the other side. From one population, from population A to population B.
Yeah, but do you agree though that in the definition that you have on your screen at the moment, that is not the requirement?
Yeah, it doesn't say it in there because for some reason it's small. But
okay, so at this point, what we need to do is we need to find a definition that satisfies your interpretation of the word species, because that one isn't good enough.
What about
Because I don't believe that there's any requirement to have fertile offspring.
Yes, there is. Definition of species in Wikipedia. Wait. Yes. Species in Wikipedia. A species is often defined as a large group of organisms in which 2 individuals are capable of reproducing fertile offspring, typically using sexual reproduction.
All right, go down to the bottom of the page and show me when it was last updated and make sure it wasn't you that did it 10 minutes ago.
Oh, God, I know. Pure history, isn't it? 3.5 hours ago. By a guy called Barak.
Just 3.5 hours ago, and it happens to have the exact phraseology that we're talking about.
So if you take a look at the older one, let's take a look at the one from May 27th.
Okay.
Yeah, still fertile offspring. There it is.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you that. All right. So, but now we're relying on a definition from Wikipedia. Could we try it from a different source? Because I don't ever really accept Wikipedia as a general rule without it being qualified.
Let's look who they cite. Okay. for that.
Yeah,
Let's see
okay.
if we can find the source here. Working definition. No. Definitions of species. Ring species.
Just for the record, I actually can't read what you're showing there because it's too small.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay, no problem.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay. Definition of species. A guy named Louis Menard.
An intellectual historian.
Generalizer. No. Here one, a horizontal gene transfer.
Just go up a sec. Just that paragraph about Darwin.
This one?
Yeah, I was just reading that bit. It was that line 3 or line 2, midway through line 2. I look at the term species, he writes, as one arbitrarily given for the sake of convenience to a set of individuals closely resembling each other. It does not essentially differ from the word variety, which is given to less distinct and more fluctuating forms. The term variety, again in comparison with mere individual differences, is also applied arbitrarily and for convenience sake. Okay, I was just reading it. I was just curious to see what he said about it. That was all. It doesn't really help us.
Here we have it, I think. Here we have it. Evolutionary species. Here we have it. A single evolutionary lineage of organisms within which genes can be shared, and that maintains its integrity with respect to other lineages through both time and space.
Okay, so this goes back to these special events that you're referring to. What's the phrase? Special event?
You mean speciation?
Speciation, yeah. Is it called special event?
I think it's only called speciation, but that might be a language issue.
Okay, so what the argument that you would say is that when they're unable to reproduce with fertile offspring, that means that they are a different species.
When they are not able to produce fertile offsprings, they are two different species. Yes.
But do you realize though that humans are able to do that? They're able to reproduce with infertile children.
They are able to reproduce with infertile children? No.
Yeah, they are.
No.
So there are people that are infertile from birth. That's why they're unable to have birth. They're not all down to. It's not all.
Okay, that's what you mean. Okay.
All infertility is not down to like cysts on the ovaries and stuff like that. Some humans are not able to reproduce because of genetic blocks. It's the way that genes works. Yeah. Not all humans are born fertile.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a mutation going on that fucks up their reproductive organs, then yes, they are not fertile.
No, but no, because do you know anybody that's ever gone through IVF?
What is IVF? Maybe you have a different abbreviation here. You mean?
Oh, sorry, fertility treatment.
No, I don't know anybody.
Okay, there will be people listening that will do. I've got a friend that spent thousands of pounds. They're both considered fertile. Okay, she produces eggs, he produces semen. All of his semen swim, and all her eggs are considered fertile. They've been tested, but for some reason they're unable to reproduce themselves, and they've gone through IVF treatments and still can't reproduce. Something's stopping them from reproducing. Now, there is no biological reason that they understand for why they're unable to reproduce, but they've spent £35,000 on it.
Yeah,
and he worked simply to pay off IVF.
Do you agree that there must be some sort of reason?
Yeah, of course. But
okay,
the reason
great. That does not mean that they are two different species. That just means there's something. It could be I don't know what the fuck. Maybe if wait, are they able? Yeah, they probably don't know that. Are they able to have fertile offspring or have offspring with other people?
Yeah, she's got a child with another relationship.
Okay, great. The next question is that child compatible to the side of the family, theoretically, of the guy you were originally talking about? Because that would mean that the genes from the one side can spread to the other side.
Sorry, I didn't quite understand. I didn't catch what you said. What was your question?
The question is the family from the one side compatible to the other family? That's that's in a nutshell what I'm trying to ask.
Is the family from one side?
Yeah.
Compatible
The question is this a question of an individual problem, or is this because of something running in the family? Because
I don't know that.
It's not about the individual, it's about the population. You have to understand that.
Yeah, but within the population, there are individuals that are incompatible. They're not able to reproduce for genetic reasons.
Yes. So what? As long as they can still reproduce with the rest of the gene pool, everything is okay.
Well, no, not really, because what it illustrates is that you have two people that are able to satisfy the definition of being different species. They're unable to reproduce.
No, they are unable to reproduce with each other.
Yeah.
But they are still compatible to the rest of the gene pool. You said that she had another child, or had a child with somebody else. Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Yeah, that does not mean that she and the guy she's now married to or wants to have a child with is part of another species.
Because she's able to reproduce with other people in that pool.
Yes.
So the fact that there's a genetic block for whatever reason, and I don't know the reason, neither do they.
Yeah.
But the fact there's a genetic block.
Yes.
Does that? So what you're saying is that's an irrelevant factor.
Between two individuals, yes. As long as the gene pool is compatible to itself, that's not a problem.
Okay. Let me have a think about that. Anyway, the only way to test that would be to make sure that he's able to, wouldn't it? Okay. Okay. So that point then. I'm just thinking. Okay, so we go back to the beginning, then we go back to the point where, right at the beginning, when you talked about these
speciation events.
Yeah.
Stages of speciation.
No, not stages of speciation. The speciation events themselves, the ones that you have that are considered to be proof of speciation.
I mean, speciation events do not occur quickly. I mean, that's also a process. That's something you can see happening over time. And that means that, for example, we should see speciation events in different stages today, and we do.
Okay. So what you're therefore, by your own volition, you therefore prove evolution. Is that right?
I prove that one of the predictions that evolution makes is correct.
Okay, so what is the prediction that it proves is correct?
The prediction is evolution tells us that we get different species by speciation events, and those speciation events are because we have two or more populations that are becoming increasingly genetically incompatible. And since we know, or since evolution tells us that that doesn't happen quickly, that's also a process, we should be able to see speciation processes in various stages right now, and we do.
But does this prove? So are you saying that this proves evolution then?
This proves speciation, and therefore proves that gene pools become incompatible, and therefore after they are incompatible, can spread or can shift in different directions. Effectively, it proves common ancestry if you're extrapolating the process back.
Yeah, it may prove common ancestry.
Okay,
but I don't
great.
see how I don't see how it proves evolution that we came from apes, which is the accepted concept of evolution.
Do you know what chromosome 2 is?
Chromosome 2? No.
Chromosome 2. Okay, we have 46 chromosomes. That's a fact. I mean, except for children or people with Down syndrome, for example, because there's something fucked up in their with the fertilization
DNA.
process. Because the chromosomes didn't get separated correctly during meiosis and so forth. But that's not the point. Humans have a chromosome set of 44 plus the genosomes. That would be in your case, and in my case, XY. And for females, it's XX.
Yeah.
Okay. All great apes have 48 chromosomes. They have 2 more. 1 set more. Okay. That means if we share a common ancestor, it's very likely that the common ancestor either had 46 chromosomes or 48. Agreed?
Okay.
Okay. Do you know how a chromosome looks like?
Do I know what a chromosome looks like?
Yeah, I mean the parts of it. What part of it has what function? Centromeres, telomeres.
No, I'll be honest. No.
I'll draw it. I need paint.
Sure. Okay.
Oh god. Okay. Oh god, this will be so ugly. I'm just using a rectangle. Okay. Demonstrate it. Okay. Fucking paint. Okay. Usually a chromosome, a 1 chromatide chromosome looks like somehow like this. We have, you understand that it's made of DNA, right? It's DNA twisted to become more compact. Okay?
Yeah, helix. Yeah.
Okay. There's a central structure in the middle of it. Oh, wait, let me just screen share. So when you're talking, the picture doesn't get blocked. I think this should be it. Okay. So there's the structure in the middle, and it's called a centromere. And the centromere's function is to connect 2 identical chromosomes when the DNA is duplicated in mitosis. So before mitosis, before cell splits into 2 parts, a chromosome all the DNA in the chromosomes gets doubled, and the 2 identical ones connect by the centromeres.
Right.
Okay? And on the end of the chromosomes, we have things called telomeres. I think they are for unwrapping and wrapping the DNA after mitosis and before mitosis. But don't pin me on that one. I'm not sure. Okay. So what we would expect if the common ancestor of us and of the great apes had 48 chromosomes is that we would have a chromosome that would be a fused structure made out of 2 different ape chromosomes. Agreed?
Okay.
We have it. We have mapped the human genome completely, and we can compare it to monkey chromosomes. And give me a second. Here's the paper describing it with the telomere-telomere fusion. And here's what it looks like. This is the chimpanzee chromosomes, 2 of them. And we see that our chromosome 2 is on the one side made out of the one of the chimpanzee chromosomes, and on the other side made out of the other one. And in the middle, we have in our chromosome 2 centromeres, one that is still active, and one that is shut off. It is there, but it doesn't work anymore. So it doesn't fuck up mitosis.
So this proves what?
This proves that the common ancestor of us and great apes had 48 chromosomes. Because if we were not related to apes, we would not have such a structure. Because this structure is completely useless. The inactive centromere in the middle doesn't do anything.
See, I don't know what. I understand what you've just described, but I don't know that it's true. And I'm not saying that.
Do you
and
want
I'm
a
not
copy?
saying-
Do you want a copy of the paper?
Well, sure. Have you got a link? Is it a link?
I've got it as a PDF. Have fun.
Okay. So, bear in mind, this is going to be. I won't even understand this when I read it, I'm sure. However, am I right in saying that what this proves is that the common ancestor between the two of us had the same amount of chromosomes?
It shows that in the development of in the human lineage, there was an event where two chromosomes fused. That's what it shows. And it also shows that those chromosomes correspond, the DNA that they contain correspond to two different chromosomes that are still today found in our closest relatives.
So, does this prove, yes or no, does this prove that we evolved from apes?
It proves that, first of all, we still are apes. And it proves that we and the modern apes that live today have common ancestors. So to answer your question, yes.
So for your first point said that it proves that we still are apes.
Yeah, we still are apes by definition, because we share all the characteristics that are attributed to apes. For example, the way our hair follicles look like, and the body type. So, yeah.
So we are able to reproduce with apes.
No, it doesn't. Common ancestry and speciation are two different things.
Yeah,
just because we had a common ancestor doesn't mean we are the same species, because there were at least one and or more speciation events between that time and now.
Yeah, but there will be lots and lots of speciation events in
Yes,
all
right.
forms of DNA. So what I'm asking is,
wait, a species. What do you mean by all forms of DNA? This is not necessarily a speciation event. This is something that happened after a speciation event. Because if it happened before the speciation event that separated us from the other apes, at least one of the other modern apes would also have 46 chromosomes and not 48.
so therefore this is subject to a speciation event, yes?
Again?
Am I right to say
this must have happened after a speciation event?
So, but does it mean that there must have been a speciation event?
Right. Yes.
Okay.
At least one, if not more.
Okay. So yeah. So when we go back to that point in time, whatever that point is, evidentially, at that point, the speciation event must have divided the population. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right? Yes. Right. How are you able to prove that at that point that you claim is a speciation event, that the pool or the population beforehand were different? Sorry, that were the same and not different. Because the argument would be that there was one species, and then you had the event, and then from the event there was the change in the DNA. How would you prove that there was How would you prove that before the speciation event that there was only one species that we were talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Not two separate ones, which it looks like.
Okay. Retroviral DNA.
Retroviral DNA.
Yes. Do you know what that is?
No, I'm asking you. Could you explain?
Certain viruses, they make a copy of their RNA and they insert it into our DNA to survive and to multiply. That's a survival strategy. And the point in which they introduce the DNA into ours, I mean the physical location, the base pair number, so to say, is more or less random.
Okay.
That means if you have one, for example, if that happens, for example, to a sperm cell, that means that the retroviral DNA will be found in the offspring. And that's, for example, how you can show that for example, if you go back in time, you would have, let's say you have one species, okay?
Sure.
So one specimen has this retroviral DNA put into it by the virus, and then it spreads by procreation over the complete population over time. Yeah. Okay, so this retroviral DNA is still subject to random mutation. Do you agree?
I don't know what retroviral DNA is, if I'm honest.
It's just like usual DNA. It's just a piece in our DNA that was not originally ours, but that was injected into our DNA strand by a virus. Because you can compare the base pair sequence to the RNA of viruses and see that they match.
Okay.
Okay, great. When you have that one population and you have the random mutations, that means that if you have a spread, that means over time, the that is hard to explain. When you have that separation event, that would mean that on the one side, the random mutations in the retroviral DNA can no longer spread to the other side. Okay? For example, I think I have a nice source for that. Give me a second. Retroviral DNA, where did I have it? I had it somewhere. Yes. Yes. Let's look at this one. I can post the source if you want.
Sure.
It's either this. Oh, it's too long to post it in the chat. Shit. I have to post it in the Hangout internal chat. It's either this source yeah, it must be this source. Yeah. Okay. So what happens if we trace back, if we map our genomes and compare it to other monkeys and apes, we can see that there are some. Can you see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay. We can see that there are some retroviral DNA injection events that happened before speciation events. For example, see how it says here New World monkeys, or New World monkey?
Yeah.
And if I have to zoom in a little bit, can I zoom in? I don't know.
No, I can see it. It's okay.
Okay. That means that these two strands of retroviral DNAs will be found in New World monkeys, and they will also be found in the other ones. Agreed?
To be honest, I don't really understand what retroviral DNA is and how it works or anything. So this is all new to me. I don't know whether this is right or not.
Yeah, okay. We have this virus that puts in its DNA into ours. And now we can use that strand of DNA as a marker. Because if we have that set of retroviral DNA in one species, and then that species splits into two parts, the retroviral DNA will be found in both resulting species. Agreed?
I think so.
Okay.
It makes sense.
Okay, good. What happens when let's call them again species A and species B? Okay.
Yeah.
When a retroviral injection event happens in species A, that means that in species B you will not find that retroviral DNA.
Because
right?
they've not been able. Yeah, because there's been separation. Yeah.
Great. So, and if you go on, if for example, species A splits up in two parts, let's say A1 and A2, that means that the injection event that happened to A, only to A, will be found in A1 and A2.
Yeah.
But it will not be found in B, that we agree on.
Yeah, yeah.
And if, for example, if to A2 there will be another event, that will mean that you will find 3 different events in A1 and A2. To be exact, 2 are identical and 1 is separate. And that's a way to map our evolutionary lineage.
But how does that, going back to the question I asked, how does that prove that there was 2 previous, there was only the 1 previous species? How does it now?
Because
I don't understand how it proves that there was only the 1 species and not the second species.
Because there are parts of our retroviral DNA that are identical to the ones of great apes. And that could only have happened if they were once 1 species, because the point in your DNA where that retrovirus injects its DNA or its RNA, depending on the virus, where it does it,
so
that's
okay,
more or less
so
random.
Okay, let me ask, can you, which is the retroviral DNA that is present in humans that is also present in...
Yeah, I already sent you. I just try to. Yeah, that's a shorter version. For the chat. This is the source.
Can you show it?
I don't know. Let me try. Wrong one. This one. Purchase, check access. Maybe just again only the abstract.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay, can you read it?
Small. Yeah, that's better. The classification along. Yeah, okay.
So in this case, it seems to be called HERVK.
Just bear with me. I'm just reading it. So this proves that there's retroviral DNA in both humans and monkeys.
Yes. I mean that there's retroviral DNA in practically every living thing, but it's of course different. And even if it's identical, it's probably at other positions of the DNA.
Just bear with me 1 sec.
I need ethanol.
Sorry, she was just getting a dog in. Okay, so the existence of retroviral DNA in humans and in monkeys is proof that we descended from the same ancestor. Is that what you're saying?
The same species, yes. We share a common ancestor species.
We share a common ancestor. What did you say? We share a common ancestor what?
Species. We had a species that split into various, or at least two parts. One became humans, and the other one are the great apes. Or actually, it's actually the other way around. That first of all, one lineage of great apes split off, and then another one, and then another one, and then finally we had just a separation of which are now chimpanzees and humans. So our closest relatives are chimpanzees.
No, I don't dispute that our closest relatives are chimpanzees. I accept that because clearly we look similar. Okay. But my issue is that a direct descendant from, because I don't. All the things that you've just discussed, and I'll be honest with you, it's impressive. It's more impressive than other arguments I've seen in other topics. It's quite detailed. It sounds believable, plausible. And I don't know most of what you've been talking about there.
Yeah, that's probably the problem, to be honest.
Yeah,
because
it probably is.
This is in the peer-reviewed literature, the DNA stuff. Maybe for this article is from 2000. The stuff is in the literature for at least 15, 16 years, and you can find it without a problem online, and you can read it.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, all your arguments that you've given sound believable, they sound credible, they sound as though they're plausible, and what you're doing is not necessarily right or wrong for me. What you're doing is addressing the points that I've made, which is fine. It's a good way to win an argument, but that, and I don't mean that as in a patronizing way, I mean it in a credit way.
No, it's okay.
What for me the problem is, it gets that complicated that all of the things that you've discussed, I have no idea whether what you're saying is right or not. I have no idea whether this is pseudoscience, real science, because the problem I have is, if it's proven that evolution is correct, why is it the case that it's still described as theory rather than fact?
Simple. Because
why?
A scientific theory is the explanation of the facts. It's the concept of thought that connects the different evidences, or the evidence points, that connects the different data points that we have.
But if it was the case that we did as a matter of fact, if it is the case that we did come from gorillas or apes or monkeys.
No, not gorillas. And not, you understand that we did not come from the monkeys that live today, right? Just the way we didn't come from our cousins. We share a common ancestor.
So if we share a common ancestor with a monkey from a previous life,
what do you mean by previous life?
From 150 generations ago, there was a common ancestor. 200 generations ago, 500 generations ago, at some point going back in time.
500.
Yeah, at some point in time there was a common ancestor. Yeah.
Yes.
Are there more common ancestors with other species across the whole?
Yes. We have a common ancestor. For example, it's probably that all vertebrates have one common ancestor species.
Which could have been a dinosaur.
No, it's what was but likely something like a lamprey. Just some sort of small fish which has only a spinal cord, and that's more or less all.
So then,
by the way, we did not come from dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are another lineage that spread out of us. I think approximately 200 million years ago. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm not suggesting that we did come from dinosaurs. What I'm asking is the evidence that proves that we came from monkeys or whatever the common ancestor was. You've described it, and to be fair, you've done it good. And I'll be honest, it goes all above my head, and I don't really understand pretty much most of it. I understand bits of what you've said, so I'm accepting what you've said from a position of ignorance, and you've argued it really well. And I'm not saying you've not done it good, but I'm still not satisfied that it proves anything with regard to evolution, because you've given a really.
You want to do a second round next week?
Do I want to do what?
A second round next week.
To do what, on evolution?
Yeah, for example. Because if you're not satisfied with the evidence that I didn't do my job correctly.
No, I'm not saying you did. No, you did your job. You discussed it and you debated it well, and that's why I'm crediting you. However, it doesn't satisfy me partly because of my own ignorance, but also because I believe that we were two separate species from the start. I don't believe that there was ever this common ancestor that you were talking about. I believe that we were always here together, and that retroviral DNA could be introduced by things like mosquitoes or just cuts or whatever.
No, because the position where the retroviral DNA is introduced is more or less random. And with all the retroviral DNA in us, and when we compare it to our next relatives, they are at exactly the same position.
Yeah.
It's a probability thing, and you can trace that back. And we have a few 100 million or billion genes, or base pairs at least. And the probability for each retrovirus to be the exact same position where we expect it to be becomes so indefinitely small that it's no longer possible to be a coincidence.
Okay, I accept that point. That would be your interpretation of it, and that I wouldn't disagree if it becomes
that's not interpretation. That's pure mathematics.
Yeah, well, if it becomes that remote that it's no longer plausible to be anything else, then fair enough. But again, that doesn't really satisfy me that we originated from apes.
Why?
Because I still believe that we were two separate species from the beginning. Whatever the beginning was, I don't believe that there was this mutation and split that you refer to. Because I don't agree. I don't believe the evidence that I've seen, and that doesn't mean that you've not done your job. You have done your job. You've argued it well, but I believe that the species, the two separate species, the apes and the humans and the monkeys, I believe that we were all here originally from day one. I don't believe that we started off from this common ancestor that you're talking about. Even though you've shown with evidence that it's right, I still don't believe it, because you're asking me to accept that an apple was originally a banana.
No.
And that's basically what you're saying. Yeah.
No. I'm saying that, to come to your example, apples and bananas have a common ancestor.
They may have a common ancestor.
Yeah, and we and bananas also have a common ancestor.
Yeah, so that doesn't mean we formed from bananas at some point just because we share a common ancestor.
Yeah, right.
So what I'm saying is, even though you've illustrated that there is, and I'm going to say a credible and plausible common ancestor, that doesn't convince me that we have morphed or evolved from that common ancestor. I'm not satisfied by it because it doesn't seem plausible that we've morphed from something that we weren't. It seems more plausible that we were here together at the same time, and there was no such thing as a division or a split that caused these events of which you describe. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. What I'm saying is it doesn't convince me, because I believe that we were here all at the same time before anything. I don't know why.
Yeah, but in order to justify that you believe it, you have to show evidence for it, and you didn't. Nothing.
No, that's quite true. But the reality is, I'm not satisfied by the evidence that's illustrated through yourself that this proves that we came from apes. Now, even though you've shown an argument which is way beyond what I was able to do, because my view on it is the evidence that proves evolution simply isn't there. I don't agree with it. Now, yes, there is evidence of something that you're describing, and it does seem logical, and it does seem plausible, and you could argue probable. The bit I have the problem with is showing the transition from one to the other. Oh yeah, it takes millions and millions of years.
But you're aware that in the beginning I showed some examples of speciation happening right now. I mean, you're talking about a transition, and you think that we can't observe it, but we do. We have the examples.
Well, I'd like to know more about the examples.
Okay. To be honest, it's getting quite late. I'm giving this hangout maybe 10 more minutes.
Sure.
If that's okay for you.
Sure.
Just wait. I have a better idea. I'll just send you my script for this debate. It's a TXT file, and I have all the sources in it.
Sure.
Wait. Skype. Am I still? I'm still sharing my screen. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is. So if you want to read about the cases, you can check that, but you will probably either need a VPN to a university or a library card of a university, because they're all peer-reviewed articles and you can't access them for free, obviously.
Okay. So the conclusion is, even though you've discussed and debated and you've brought good evidence to support your view, I'm still not satisfied that satisfies the burden against you to prove evolution, simply because I still can't. I believe that there was never a split. I believe that we were all here together.
Yeah,
separate
but
and unique.
I've shown you all that stuff, and you agreed that it's more likely that that can't be a coincidence.
No.
But it's increasingly more unlikely that it's a coincidence.
No, I don't agree with that. I think that there's billions of variations of the DNA that allow billions of different variations all at once.
Yeah, but it's a question of probability. And for example, these retroviral DNA strands, they are
actually, respectfully, it's a question of possibility, not probability.
No, I mean the possibility that it happens is always there, but the question is, how likely is it that it happens, and that it happens again and again and again and again and again? Do you understand that the retroviral DNA? It's just so unlikely that that's a coincidence.
Yeah, but it's also so unlikely that it takes millions and millions of years for all this to happen. Yet science.
No, because we can observe it today.
We can observe what today?
Speciation. I mean, look at the. I've just sent you the script, all my sources that I was citing today, or at least I didn't get to some sort. For example, we didn't talk about ring species at all, or atavisms, or vestigial organs, and that's all. In the beginning, there are. Yeah, there's a part of it saying stages of speciation. And I've given you various examples with the sources, and you can check them.
Yeah, and I'm not doubting your research. I'm not doubting the results of your research, and I'm not doubting the way you presented it. What I'm saying is, I'm still not satisfied. It doesn't satisfy me that there wasn't a division right earlier on. To me, it still appears that everything was separate right at the beginning. It wasn't. It didn't morph from one to the other the way you're describing it.
Yeah, but
even though you produced evidence.
If you had, let's say, 3 original species, wouldn't that mean you get 3 completely different patterns in retroviral DNA? Wouldn't that mean that you get 3 completely different patterns in, for example, atavisms?
Yeah, but with regards to the retroviral DNA, I'm not saying I mean, I don't even know what retroviral DNA is. I'm assuming it's retroviral, meaning that it goes. Well, it doesn't matter. What I'm at. The point is,
actually, it matters.
No, what I'm saying is there are other ways that may well explain the retroviral DNA, of which you've not you haven't argued, because it probably goes against your arguments, or there are other ways that are not obvious straight away to me.
Yeah, you can, for example, make a hypothesis how the retroviral DNA got into the place where it is today, and then the pattern how it is today, that is completely that is different from the hypothesis that how evolution describes it, and you can check for that.
Yeah.
And until now, every prediction that was incompatible to evolution failed.
Every prediction that was incompatible to evolution failed?
Yes. Regarding retroviral DNA. And I bet you that if you come up with a alternative hypothesis that describes retroviral DNA, you either won't be able to make any predictions, or your predictions will be false.
Well, okay. I honestly don't know whether what you're saying there is true, because this is mumbo jumbo to me. This is pseudoscience to me. It may be
No. Wait. Just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's pseudoscience.
That's why I said it may be pseudoscience to me, but it may be science to you. because of that reason. I may not understand it, and I admit that I don't understand it. But that doesn't mean
you're arguing from ignorance.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So, but ultimately, the ultimate question is, even taking into consideration all of which you've pointed out, and you have argued it well, am I still satisfied? Does it satisfy me that we resulted as a result of evolution? And the answer is no, because I don't believe that there was a split. I know you say there was. Well, I know you say there was, but I don't believe it's proven. I believe that we were all separate from the start, for whatever reason. So you can say tough shit, but I still don't believe what you've said, because I believe that we weren't split from in the first instance. We were all here together.
What do you mean by in the first instance?
Well, at the beginning, whenever the beginning was.
Yeah, are you talking about the first life form?
I'm talking about the first humans. The egg, the chicken and the egg argument. When we went back to the first humans, were we here as a result of morphing from a monkey? And I don't believe that.
You mean that that's not a sharp edge? That's a continuous process, right? You are aware of that. There is no.
Yeah, but there has to be a beginning point.
Yeah, but it's completely arbitrary.
Well, if we all share a common ancestor, then it means there was a beginning point, and that common ancestor would be the beginning point.
Are you talking about humans?
Yes.
The common ancestor of all humans. There was only a common population that gave a rise to all humans. Do you understand that? It's not about individuals.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, what you're talking about there, that population, over millions of years morphed into the humans that we are now.
Yes.
See.
It's mutations. You have that population that looks more ape-like than we do today, and then a slight mutation happens, which is slightly beneficial. That spreads over the gene pool, and another mutation dies out over time because it's less beneficial. And that's the way the species that gave a rise to us changed gradually.
I understand the concept of evolution, but what I'm not satisfied, even though you've argued it correctly and you've done it really well, I'm still not satisfied that we morphed from a common ancestor that was an ape or a gorilla or whatever it was that you want it to be into what we are now. I believe that we were always the same way that we are now. I don't believe that there's been this gradual decline or gradual morph from one to the other. I believe that this species that we are, humans, has always been the same species. It's never changed. That's why we're able to breed the way we do. And it's why we'll always be able to breed the way we do.
Okay. Yeah, that's your problem.
Yeah, maybe it is my problem, but it is my belief, and it's my accepted belief, because I don't believe that evolution is it's not satisfied me that it's true. Even though you come up with all the arguments and the point, and you did it well, I still don't accept that it's the reason why we're here, because to me, it's not proven. It doesn't. There is no defining moment where it says, "All right, before this point we were not human, but after this point we were human," and that's the bit that I'm not happy with.
Because it's arbitrary.
Well,
because you can always go back one generation, and the difference from the generation to the generation before is so definitely small that you practically can't see a difference. You can only define it if you take a look at the bigger picture and zoom out a bit.
Yeah, and
then the cut where you call it a human and where you don't call it a human, that is so arbitrary that there's even no sense talking about it.
Well, no, because that's the point where you say we've morphed from one species into another species. This is the whole point of the evolution debate. Now, ultimately, I accept that there are mutations within the pool or the population, the gene pool or the population, and I accept that. That's not a debate. The bit I don't accept is that over millions and millions of years that we've all morphed from an ape or a monkey species into this human species. That's the bit I still don't accept, because the chances of that being true are minuscule. Even though you say it's absolute virtual certainty because of retroviral DNA, I think that there's a lot more variables in that discussion that I'm not familiar with, but that doesn't mean they don't exist. I think there's a lot more variables that influence that outcome because the chances of you being right, although you say it's probably high, it's minute in my view. I don't agree. Even though you've explained it really well, I still don't agree that we morphed from a monkey.
Yeah, but the problem that you have, and that you said you would have, that you accept that you have, is that your view is not based on evidence.
It's based on lack of evidence.
Yeah, right. That's the problem. That's the entire problem. You don't have any evidence.
I don't have any evidence of what?
We have to support your hypothesis. We have the fossils. We have the genes. We have the geologic column. We have retroviral DNA. We have the speciation events right now. We have atavisms. We have vestigial ordinance, and so on and so forth. And you have nothing.
No, what I'm saying, no, it's not that I have nothing. It's that I don't accept your stated evidence as the proof. There is a difference. It's not about...
Okay, agreed. But you don't have a competing hypothesis, and you don't have anything that can confirm your hypothesis.
I don't have a competing hypothesis. The competing hypothesis is
okay. Yes, you're right. You have the hypothesis that it didn't happen, and that
there was no split.
Okay, great. Yeah. But you don't have any evidence to show it, and that's the problem.
Well, the evidence is all around you today. You look.
No, it's not. I've shown you speciation events happening today. Then how can you claim that those don't happen?
I'm not claiming that they don't happen. I'm claiming that they don't prove evolution. They don't prove that we came from monkeys. They
prove that common ancestry and splitting of one species into two is possible. And that it's happening now, and that it therefore could have happened or did happen in the past.
Yeah, but did happen is the problem because it isn't proven. I know you've proven it with theory, and you're explaining it with these speciation events of now. But again, my point is this. I don't believe that there was one species that we evolved from. I believe that there were two separate species, and there was never any split the way you describe. And you can't prove,
but you can check that by checking for the retroviral DNA, for example. And that shows that after a certain point, the retroviral DNA of us and of the other great apes is identical to a certain degree.
What we'll do, I don't know if I can do it in a week. I'll look into the retroviral DNA. And
that sounds like a good idea.
I'll look into it critically to see if I can find out a flaw to the point that you make. Because my view is that there was never a split. Your view is that there was a split and retroviral DNA proves it.
Yes.
So give me time, give me 2 weeks to look into that claim, and I'll come back to you with some, not necessarily counter arguments, but some different views. At least when I've had a chance to read into it. Because I've never even heard of retroviral DNA before tonight.
Okay, good. Then I think for the guys in the chat, since this is my first hangout, I want some feedback. So I'll just post the link for the hangout in the chat, and anyone who can join for about maybe 20 minutes, because after then I have to catch some sleep because of university tomorrow.
That comment wasn't aimed at me, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was aimed to the chat.
That's okay. So give me 2 weeks. Let's reconvene in 2 weeks, and I'll have a look around, read around this topic of retroviral DNA, and I'll get back to you. Okay?
Yeah, that sounds fair.
And thank you very much. It was enjoyable. We didn't agree.
Same.
But it was good. It was good. 2 weeks, and I'll see you soon.
Okay. See you.
Right. Bye for now.
So, anyone who wants can join into the hangout. The link is in the chat. That was hurting my brain. I mean, not in the good way, like some sort of beer or something, but in the bad way, like, I don't know, getting auto-lobotomized or something. Microblog, hi!
Anthony owes me a new desk and a new keyboard.
He owns me a new brain.
Yeah, that too.
That thing is now destroyed like my gearbox in my car.
You really have way too much patience. You know
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I know. Some guy asked for some background of me. Retion Allmind, whatever. I'm a chemistry student now in the 9th semester, so I'll be having my master's degree in about 10 months or so. And after that, I'm starting my doctor's degree. So, yeah, I'm becoming a scientist.
I would say you already are.
Not really, no.
That's the matter. It's a matter of when the cutoff point is, I guess.
Yeah. I'd say after the master's degree, then maybe. You know, when I'm in a work group where I actually do that stuff for a living. So, who else do we have here? Hille, and yeah, that's all. I can't hear you.
I think you did good. I don't really have that much critique to the hangout.
Yeah, in the beginning there were some technical issues.
Well, yeah, but that's. I mean, technical issues happens.
Yeah. So, who else do we have here? Tauseti and a guy called Tony, I don't know him. Yeah. So, for everyone who wonders, I think this hangout will stay on.
It will stay up. Yeah,
Yeah.
It should. It depends on how you've set it, but as long as you haven't delivered, I think that by default it goes up. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
There is a setting to automatically unlist it as soon as you are done. But
yeah, I think I double checked that, but should be okay.
Yeah. Maybe I would probably download it and cut off the beginning where
yeah, I will probably like the first 45 minutes
where there's basically nothing happening.
Yeah, at least until Red appeared. Yeah, I'll probably do that. On my PC I currently don't have any cutting program though, so that will take a while. So I leave it open or on the website until at least I have a copy of it.
Yeah. If you want, I can. It doesn't take that long. I can. I'll be more than happy to download it and cut the beginning off.
Oh, that would be great.
Send it to yeah.
Can't you do that in the YouTube editor program?
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
I have no idea. I've never worked with YouTube until today.
Yeah, there's a YouTube editor in the studio under your homepage.
Oh, yeah, I see it. Video tools. Ah, nice.
Yeah,
video editor.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah.
I only wanted to come in for a couple of seconds. One, to congratulate you on your patience.
Yeah, thanks.
And two, to apologize for the incredible idiot that you've just been talking to.
Yeah, I'm used to it.
I mean, I'm not the world's smartest man, but boy, oh boy, he leaves me in the dark.
Okay, thank you. To be honest, I can't stand congratulations.
Well, I mean, but it was due. You were doing, you were explaining it perfectly well. I understood it. I don't understand how he's never heard of a retrovirus, but yeah, I mean, biology is not my thing, but I know what they were.
To be honest, it's not my thing either.
Oh, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the stuff that was still in my head from 11th grade.
Yeah, well,
and I haven't had a single biology course in university. I only had a physics course for 2 semesters. So this is basically high school stuff what I've today just talked about.
In which case, then I doff my hat to you even more. I just can't understand a lot of what he was saying. Well, not understanding, should I say?
You mean because of the topics, or because I'm talking too fast or with a too extreme German accent?
Well, I mean, I can understand your accent, and I haven't got any German friends, so I've not been exposed to the German accent that much.
Okay.
So I can understand you, so I don't understand why he couldn't understand you. Maybe it's just the friction between the two brain cells that he's got working in his brain. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Anthony, if you're
too
listening.
much credit.
It's just too funny.
But yeah, I mean, no, you did a good job. You presented the facts quite clearly, quite cleanly, quite simply. So the fact that he couldn't grasp them, I think it was more a case of his set to his Bible, and unfortunately,
Actually, as far as I understood it, he's not religious.
Yeah, that's the weird part.
Yeah.
really,
He's not a Bible thumper. That's the thing that actually got me interested in talking to this wanker. I'm sorry.
No, that's completely justified.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Whatever.
that was almost perfect English with no accent.
Seriously?
Wanker.
Yeah, maybe I'm playing too much Payday 2. That's likely.
Well, I mean, if you were watching the side chat during the broadcast, it was all full of the same thing. What? I don't understand. What's he talking about? The guy.
Yeah, we were basically screaming silently in the chat.
Yeah, it was quite comical actually reading the side chat.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
And of course, the thing that redirected me to the hangout was
Probably.
Red, yeah.
Yeah. I was guest on his hangout. I think 3 times, and that's actually how I got in contact with Anthony, because he was subject of he had a video on one of Red's rocket launches. No, not on the rocket launches. On some curvature measurements with a power plant or something.
This wasn't anything to do with flat Earth or anything stupid like that, was it?
No, it was.
Yes.
He's a flat earther.
Yeah. He's not only a flat earther, he's also a 9/11 conspiracy theorist. I had to talk to him one entire night. I should have done this live, but I didn't. Where he claimed all kind of different stuff. You know, the jet fuel can't melt steel beam stuff, and
Wait. He actually used that.
Yes, he used it.
He used something that has become a joke meme at this point.
Yes, he did. And he was quite sure that the fuselage of the planes couldn't penetrate the building, and so on and so forth, and that it was caused by explosions and/or rockets.
Yeah, he's never heard of a slow motion explosion then.
Yeah.
One thing I really want.
Next thing, he thinks pyramids are used to create energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he wait, and he didn't know the difference between an electric current and an electric field.
That's Dunning-Kruger, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Please tell me.
I know that he has a degree. I don't want to tell what it is.
Please tell me he's not from England. He's actually Australian, or he's an export
Liverpool,
to America.
Liverpool or Blackpool, one of the two.
Blackpool. He's.
God.
He lives like south of Blackpool.
Please tell me it's a marketing.
I feel so ashamed to actually be British now.
Yeah, that's okay. I also feel ashamed sometimes to be German, for obvious reasons.
It's all right. Don't worry. We won't harp on about Merkel or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
One thing I really wanted to know, because he accepted that non-avian dinosaurs existed and died out. Yes. I don't think he thinks non-avian dinosaurs are still around. But he also said that that all the species were there from the start. So does that mean that he thinks that over time the number of species on Earth gets lower and lower and lower?
I have no fucking clue.
Judging by what he said, that he believes apes and men were around at the same time, and there was no common ancestor between the two of them. That's the only conclusion you could come to, is that that theory holds true of what his hypothesis exists for all species on the planet. So therefore, what we're actually seeing is a decline in population of animals rather than increasing via speciation.
Do you want to see something hilariously funny? I mean,
Yes.
it's really hilariously funny. So, wait. Can you see my monitor?
Yes.
Just give me a second. This was from yesterday.
Oh, that is.
Wow, right? Holy shit!
That is almost too good.
No wonder he was awarded for the Dumb Fuck Award of the Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already got the list from Red. I haven't seen all of the stuff of the guys that were nominated, so
It's
that will be
it's
the
a
next
strong
week.
it's a strong field this year.
By the way, is Red here?
No.
Because
Where
I
is
think
Red?
he wanted to rejoin after the
Oh,
Anthony's gone. Okay.
He's probably playing with a rocket somewhere.
Yeah,
Well,
he
yeah.
told me that he was.
but let's be fair. We all know who is gonna end up winning the dumb fuck of the year.
I don't know when is
I'm
the
not sure.
nomination or when is the period over.
It hasn't started yet. It's all through December. No, but True Empiricism, Ronnie,
Rat.
he's gonna end up winning simply because Steve McRae is gonna has promised that he's gonna create as many stock accounts as he needs.
Okay,
Gonna do some serious lobbying about it.
Yeah, that too.
so, well, then I think I'm going to end the hangout.
So you ate congratulations, but I will say, for mostly all people that was in the chat, that
Yeah.
you did a pretty good job for a first time.
Yeah,
Mhm.
thanks. Actually, there's some more sciencey stuff coming up on my channel. Next
You
thing
should have
will
nailed them
be
on the dictionary.
I
yeah,
don't.
either another hangout or what I've planned to do in about 6 weeks is because in the institute where I'm working, we are shutting down one of our superconducting magnets for NMR spectroscopy, and that's actually quite spectacular because you have all this liquid helium boiling off that is used to cool down the
Please
magnet.
don't quench it.
Yeah, I mean we do have to quench it. That's
Oh, it's so sad.
yeah. I mean this thing was in service for 45 years or something. It's a 200 megahertz device. It's old as fuck, and yeah, it's getting replaced because someone killed the shimmer. If you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not that into.
Okay,
it's been a while since I've
practically
learned about
for
NMR.
NMR spectroscopy, you need a very homogeneous magnetic field. And the superconductor itself doesn't produce a magnetic field that's homogeneous enough. So you have a set of coils inside the magnet that is connected to a computer, and you have a set of current coils. They are producing a second magnetic field, and you have a set of coils that measure the homogeneity of the magnetic field. And this thing is fucked up, so all the spectra have the peaks are too broad and everything, so you can't use them for publishing stuff anymore. And keeping this thing up, which costs about 100 liters of liquid helium every month, and that's quite expensive. So
That's a lot of money. Yeah, I guess.
so we're shutting it down, and yeah.
Yeah, and then
I hope I don't freeze the action cams.
Yeah,
That would be annoying.
and for the people who don't, the people listening, quenching it is basically when you shut it down, the magnet basically ends up the superconducting magnet basically slams into it.
Yeah, I can explain it quite easily. So you have this superconducting magnet, and you have the massive amount of current that is running through it. It has the shape of a torus or cylinder. And when you heat this thing up by simply destroying the isolation between the liquid helium and the warmer areas of the liquid nitrogen, what basically happens is that at some point when the magnet is heating up, one part of the magnet, just one small part of it, is no longer superconducting. So that all the energy of the current goes into that portion of the magnet, which then further heats up, and then soon nothing of the magnet is still superconducting and all the helium boils off. And that's about 100 liters of liquid helium boiling off in about 10-15 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's quite spectacular.
These things, like when there's accidents, when they are cringed accidentally, it's actually fairly dangerous.
Yeah, for example, there's some video where somebody dropped an MRI scanner with a crane.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That was.
You saw that? Yeah, that was painful to watch. And I mean, it's crazy to transport a superconducting magnet while it's running. But if you want to shut down one of those and then restart them, it takes about a week, and it also costs tens of thousands of dollars, because first of all you have to cool all that shit down, and then you have to induce the magnetic the magnetic field and the current, and you lose all the liquid helium, you lose all the liquid nitrogen. It's annoying. So yeah, you don't want to do that. But I would never transport a superconducting magnet while it's on. Okay, I'm closing it down.
Yeah.
Thanks for the feedback, guys. Actually helped quite well.
Have a good one.
And for everyone, you can all download the video if you want it and spread it or not. Your decision.
Good
I
night.
think it should be spread.
Yeah, okay. See you.
Have a good night.